What is up, Bulldog Nation? Guess what? 4 teams left. 1 town standing tall. The Dogs are Final Four bound, baby.
Final Four.
And
Como, here we come.
Como, here we come. And you are listening to the Doghouse. You are.
I'm Micah Harris.
I'm Matt Tanner. Thanks for checking in with us this week. Man, we are so fired up. I didn't go to bed till almost midnight last night.
Oh, my.
I couldn't get wound down, and we were just on cloud 9. That game, if you weren't there, it's hard to tell you just how crazy good that it was. It was Micah, before the game on the way up, said, I got a good feeling about this. He did.
People are going to tell me I'm lying, but I knew, even in the third quarter when we were kind of giving up some points and going back, I knew.
Man, I wish I would have known. I wish, I wish, we told Coach Hollifield yesterday after the game, I said, you know what, Coach? So we got 2 more games. If it's all the same to you, I'd like to go ahead and just get those wins and just be about 20 apiece. Just 20-point margin, just so it's a little less dramatic.
Yeah.
But it was so exciting. There's a lot of similarities to another year, and I don't want to bring them up right now. I don't want to jinx ourselves, but there are so many similarities that are kind of stacking up that we'll talk about them at some point.
At post.
Yeah, post at the true
Post next week.
Post, yeah.
If they continue with the trend, as they will continue with the trend.
Yes, there we go. We're going to speak it like it's happening. That's right. We are the Bulldogs. If you don't know, if you're listening to this and this is your first time or you're not necessarily a Bulldog fan, the Bulldogs pulled off, I would say, mild upset, maybe. I mean, when you get this far in the season, how do you upset somebody? I mean, in the state rankings, they were ranked 2, we were ranked 4.
Right.
So, I mean, by that, I guess you could say
slight upset, but I mean,
yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, I think it's more like slaying some dragons. Like
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Vianney, again, give you a little context to what we're talking about. 2 years ago in 2024, this same weekend, Sikeston played Vianney. So starting in 24 and then in last season in 25, the quarterfinals were they did a home. The one of the teams got the host, and it was the even numbered district. So they're District 2, we're District 1. In 2024, they're an even number. They hosted. In 2025, we made it back to the quarterfinals. We hosted. So whoever from our district would have won last year, because we were an odd numbered year, they would have hosted. We won our district, and we ended up playing Webster Groves last year at home, and we got beat 72-71. But in 2024, we played Vianney at Vianney, and you want to talk about going into the Lions' Den. Woo! Man, they were tough, and they beat us, I don't know, 10-12. I mean, it was, they
shot lights out.
Oh, my gosh. And they started to do that yesterday.
Yeah.
But
one of them was real hot.
Yeah.
Omar Long.
Yeah, I'll keep wanting to say Owen Long.
It's Omar Long, I think.
It's Omar. Yeah. Shot. He was 8. We've heard 8 of 10, 8 of 11, 8 of 12, whatever. And he took the final shot. It was contested, and he missed it. And as I said, I think Marquell grabbed the rebound about the top of the backboard. There was nobody getting
that rebound.
There was
not even a 7-footer.
No, there was no one else.
Was he in there at the time?
He was.
The 7-footer, yeah.
Yes. Marquell went up over everybody.
He's a lot faster than the 7-footer.
He's faster off the floor. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So we'll get into some specifics.
But we need to pay some bills.
We got to pay some bills. That's right. Again, shout out to our terrific sponsors, Mercy Phoenix, the healthcare staffing solution EMS, EMT, RNs, LPNs, all the above. Just talked to Jody the other night. They're signing some more contracts in Illinois, Indiana, over toward Evansville and somewhere in that area. So if you are looking and that is in your line of work, give them a call. Reach out to them. MercyPhoenix.com, Mercy Phoenix on Facebook. If you need to get a hold of Jody specifically, get in touch with me or Micah. We'll get you his number. I don't want to give his number on here, but
probably the best way to do it is through his website.
Yes, there's a contact us section, and you can go in there, leave a message. It'll fire an email to him, and he will get back to you, either he or Tucker, and they will get back to you quickly and get all that taken care of. So they're adding as they go, and it's expanding for them, and I couldn't be happier for them. And again, we couldn't be happier to have them one of our partners. Just terrific.
Great.
They're great folks. Additionally, we have Green Grass Guys, who they just made a post on Facebook. If you saw that,
I did see it
last week. They have transitioned, let's say, from like mowing and things like that to just straight turf care, and that's what their Green Grass Guys is. They have another gentleman that has taken over that business for them, and you can still contact them for doing those things. But Green Grass Guys, David Bizzle, D Bizzle, they are the ones that will take care of your lawn, make it look just unbelievable. And man, mine's greened up. My gosh,
it is green.
It is. And
the only places that ain't green is like damaged spots or something.
Right.
You know?
And dang it, D, I got to mow this week before we go to Columbia at some point. So it looks great. Of course, now cold weather tomorrow is going to probably not be great on it, but
I'm probably not getting out of the cold tomorrow, Mo.
No, I would like to get it done tomorrow, but not at 35 degrees. I'm not going to. I'll probably have to wait till Wednesday.
I think Wednesday's supposed to be back in the 60s.
Yeah, it's supposed to be nicer.
It'll be back in the 80s next week.
Isn't that crazy?
70-something, 79.
Yeah,
I think
by this weekend.
Yeah.
So it might be a hair cooler in Columbia. It's a little further north, but I mean, not like cold. It might be 70 instead of 78 here or something like that.
This is the time of season to get a hold of Green Grass Guys. So.
It is. They are you guys get in touch with. They have a Facebook page, and we also, and again, I even think about this too. I don't hear it all the time, but on our podcast, we have our built-in ads that are in there. It gives their number and stuff to call, so you can reach out to them. Schedule a man. You will not be unhappy doing it. They are top-notch professionals and make your lawn look unbelievable. So I would highly recommend that. Again, shout-outs again, Luke. Thanks for getting our graphics going and our videos. He's got the one for our guest as well. They're just terrific. Aaron, thanks for putting up with us, for allowing us to do this. My beautiful bride, while she's usually likes to sleep on Sundays, but we'll probably taking some time from her today. Shout out to Justin, my brother, Micah's brother-in-law, our chief legal counsel, our general counsel, as we say. We keep saying it's very lucrative, right?
Lucrative, yeah.
It's a lucrative position.
Yeah.
Tucker Cheney, Jody's son, the aforementioned Tucker Cheney. He's a big part of Mercy Phoenix, but he's also helps me a lot with some of the video editing and things like that. It can become a challenge, and that's right up his alley. He's a former KFVS video editor, and so he's helped me tremendously. Derek James, Brian James, for their knowledge, history, stats, stories, lore, all the above. And certainly last but not least, Tyler Anderson, TA Twisted Arrow Woodworking. Tyler with our cool sign on the wall you can see in the video. It says the doghouse on the state of Missouri. It's got the doghouse, got the Bulldog logo on there. It's kind of a 3D. It's raised. It's really, really cool, and we're very proud of it.
You know, I'm coming to the conclusion it takes a village to run a podcast.
Man, doesn't it? I mean, holy cow. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Gosh, you got some shout outs? Better
Not right off the top of my head right now.
Better-
My wife.
Yes, better always include her.
Yeah, she's home taking a nap. I think she's enjoying me being gone.
I was just going to say.
Now, I will say that this week's guest, I mean, when we recorded that, I mean, that was, she probably missed me that night. But
Yeah.
today, I think her and Maggie Jo's asleep on the bed. They were planning to take a nap. I don't know. Maggie Jo says she needs a nap, but she
might have other plans.
Yeah.
I see. Well, also don't forget to like, share, follow the Doghouse on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Please go on there and follow us. Stay up to date. We like to, we talked about Opus, this Opus clips that I've got. It takes our video, I download it onto there, and it puts out all kinds of, takes clips for me, makes them for me.
just makes little reels.
Yeah, little reels, and it's been really, really great to have that.
Have I seen some come up on my Facebook?
Yeah.
Not Facebook, but YouTube?
Yes.
Like reels that are shorts on there?
Yes.
I like that.
Yes. And I can, and the best thing of that, like literally tonight when we get done with this and I go edit all this and put it all together and get the podcast out, and then when I work the video right after that, I schedule it all tonight and I don't have to do anything. I schedule all the posts like tonight, and I can set the time. It's usually about 6 o'clock. That's when these metrics and stuff that we have tell us that's when most people
Peak
see
time.
stuff. Yeah. So we schedule it. Boom. There we go. I don't have to worry about it.
That's good to know though. Like kind of information, especially if you're wanting to get some information out of me. Like what are the best times to put things out on social media?
Yeah.
Because I've noticed that before. I mean, I've shared something like on a Saturday morning. It's not the best time.
No. It's usually during the week. It's like 6 o'clock is what they say. I forget the weekends. I try noon. I try 3. Just kind of different times, and just see which ones you have good luck with. And but if you see those, please make a comment, share them. Yeah, share them. And listen, we love doing what we do, and thank you for following along. We ask that you just keep supporting us because we're gonna keep going, and we really enjoy doing this. And you can also you can catch. We'll talk about our podcast. You can catch the audio version on Amazon, Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio. There's like a list of like 20 of them that automatically uploads to, and you can go to our website, thedoghouse.buzzsprout.com. There's an embedded player on there. It's got all the episodes. You can click through those on there, listen to them on there. I had a good friend of mine, Chris Hotchkiss, says when he listens to our podcast and other podcasts, it never even occurred to me why this is on there. But you can like set it for like 1.25 or 1.5 and still understand what's going on,
right.
But it goes through quicker. And I was like, well, heck. So essentially, if you set it on 1.5, if it's an hour-long deal, you listen to it in 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. And it never even occurred to me.
I've seen some people do that. I've never done it. And I'm more.
Yeah. But you can certainly do that. If you need to reach out to us, send us a message on any of our social medias. Again, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, or you can send us a message at our you can email us at doghouse.sikeston@gmail.com. I check those all the time. They come to my phone. If you need to reach out to us, please do. We're always looking for ideas and people to talk to, and we've got some exciting stuff coming up. Our guest this week is great, and we're glad to have him.
Interesting stat on there today. I'm not going to share it, but I mean, like, be listening for it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's
it was
mind blowing.
It was very mind blowing when our guest mentioned that. I agree with you. We were like, really? That's really odd that is that way.
And I'm guilty of one of the stats. I mean,
yeah. I was looking over the article Dennis did. And it's great writing by Dennis Marshall for the Standard. Just kind of reading through it and kind of reliving kind of the moments, and there's clips. There's like a 9 or 10 minute clip from A Corp Sports, who, by the way, I think their names are Greg Allen and Mike Reeves.
They were excellent.
They were outstanding. I mean, they were really good.
Well, I think they're calling some in Columbia this weekend.
That's what I understand as well.
I think they said that on the air.
Yes, that's what I understand. They were really, really good.
Yeah.
And that was cool. That they did a terrific job. So if you can catch them on those clips, you can go back and watch this game. I still think you have to pay for it. I think, don't hold me to that. Maybe because it's past. I'm not sure, but it's $10. Go back and watch it.
Yeah, I think you do have to pay for it.
Okay, and maybe for next 3 months or something. I don't know. Maybe after that.
Well, I actually went back to look and see if Webster Groves was on there last, and it was not on YouTube.
It was not. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you got probably go through Misha.
Probably, yeah. So, well, either way, if you want to have those, they're out there. If you want to watch them, relive some stuff, it's kind of hard to watch that Webster Groves game. I have not watched that one.
No, I just went back to look to see if we had to pay because.
Yeah. You'll probably have to go through Misha TV again. Yeah, to get that. But anyway, a couple shout outs to some of our loyal listeners and loyal fans. I know Jack McGill, man, he's all about it.
He was up there talking to us yesterday.
Oh yeah, he was.
He was like, I can't wait for this week.
He's a great guy. He's a great young man. They just started golf. All Spring Sports has been going on a week now. It was last week the first week.
Yeah.
Shout out to our boys baseball team. They
went the jamboree yesterday morning.
They did at Fredericktown, and I understand they won both. Not games, but both.
It was 2 3-inning games.
Yes.
So
that's what I understand. Yeah, 2 3-inning games against
Arcadia Valley
and Fredericktown, I believe, and they won them both. That's so. Again, it's a jamboree.
Thank you to Fredericktown or whoever those 2 teams to make an accommodation so that
our
baseball team can make it to the game.
Very much so, and it worked out great that it was in Fredericktown. It's 20 minutes from the gym. Our kids got to experience this game, and they were terrific yesterday. The bleacher bums, the cheerleaders, they were terrific. Our fans, man, that place holds 2,200. It wasn't packed. I mean, it wasn't sold out, but it was dang close.
It was pretty close, yeah.
And Vianney brought some people, but there's no question who brought the most.
Yeah, I think they brought a big student section, which isn't that an all-boys school?
That's what I understand. I understand.
Because I know they didn't have any cheerleaders.
Oh, you know what? That's right. It's funny you said that. Oh. I know DeSmet is an all-boys school.
Mm-hmm. I think Vianney is too.
Okay, maybe so. But anyway, they brought some fans, but there was no doubt who had the most fans there, and it was.
Hey, we were there early.
Oh my gosh!
Thank you for Park Hills.
Yes,
thank you.
Great comment.
They did a great job hosting.
They did a great job hosting, and not at part of that, I should say. We got there, and we weren't the first ones in the gym. There were probably
somebody said they got there like 10:50, and they were open.
Yes,
and I mean by 11 o'clock they had concessions open.
Yeah, thank you. That was terrific. It's usually they wouldn't let us in until like an hour before the game, and people are stacked up outside. Fortunately, it was a beautiful day.
It was.
It was very, very nice. Yeah. It was a very nice day.
I do appreciate Park Hills for hosting, and I think did a great job.
That's a great venue. I had some folks that I work with. They're out from that area, and they said that's an iconic gym in their area. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull up some of the comments that he said about that. Yeah. Hang on, and I'll find that.
It's an older building, but it's still really, really. It was probably state of the art when it was built.
He said. It was the best 7 years of his life at Park Hills. He's being silly. He said the Christmas tourney for the boys and girls just celebrated the 70th year. The 70th year was in 2025. He said not much has changed over that time frame except a couple of new hardwoods. So it's a cool parquet.
So if that building's over 70 years old, it was state of the art when they built it.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean the field house was built in '69.
Yeah.
So it's 50 something years old. Yeah. And this one's got it's kind of a, well, it's a pit, basically.
You step down.
Yeah. You come in on the top level of the bleachers and then go down.
I would say 10 rows probably down, 10, 15.
It said it seats 2,200, and I'd say it does because it's like a bowl. It goes all the way around, and in the first 2 or 3 rows off the floor are chairbacks, which make really good seating. In the bleachers,
there's only one opening, and that's where they come in and out. I mean, like both teams.
That's kind of interesting. That can create some awkward moments, or it could. Where the tunnels are on one end, it's just one area to go down, and so I know at halftime, Coach Hollifield, and I'm sure they talked about it. I'm sure they were given instructions, "Hey, stop,
wait on them,"
because their bench was closer to it, so they said stop and let them go off the floor. So I'm confident.
No problems there though.
No. It could potentially.
It could be. Matter of fact, I said something about it before the game. I was like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, well, and it was not. They were great. Their team was great. We were rightfully concerned that there might be some tomfoolery, shenanigans, maybe.
I think their game before Western Road was kind of
little chippy at the end. The game with us 2 years ago
wasn't the most polite.
No, it was silly, and we had an idea going into it that it was going to be silly, and it was not a letdown. But this year, to their credit, I asked some of our kids after the game, and I said, "How was that?" And they said,
"No problems."
Said they didn't chirp, they didn't talk, they didn't do anything, and so. It's play ball, right? I mean, it's play ball.
And
the team that has the most at the end when the buzzer sounds is who's going to win.
Just thank God that was us.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So looking at some of these stats, by the way, that's 18th in a row for the Bulldogs. 18 wins in a row.
18 wins in a row.
Yeah. Something I didn't know that they mentioned on the broadcast, and you probably heard, Sikeston has the 10th most number of district championships in the state. 10.
There is a couple of Southeast Missouri teams on there. Number one is the Southeast Missouri team.
Charleston has 40.
So we're 10 behind them.
Yes. Vashon is number 2 with 37.
Something like
is that what
I can't remember the exact number. I remember
Scott
that number
Central
2
had like 33.
Yeah.
And they were 7 maybe. I don't recall, but if you watch the game, the announcers were talking about that. That's pretty cool stuff that I didn't recall. And I know the announcers mentioned it last week during the Festus game because I watched it as well. Sikeston, since 2005, regular season and district play, has an 81% winning percentage, like 450 and 113. Those aren't the exact numbers, but I mean, just we call him HOF, HCGH for nothing, right? We don't call him that for nothing.
Right.
I mean, he's 81 win percentage is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Not kind of. It is ridiculous. Now, they talked about Sikeston's winning percentage.
Quarterfinal beyond district.
Well, there's probably some sectionals in there before. We don't have sectionals now in the new Class 5. But before there were some sectionals, quarterfinals, Final Four, and we were at 40. It's like 25 and 29. It was under 50%, just a little bit. Yeah. And some might scoff at that, but I mean, Class 5.
Class 5 is probably one of the toughest classes.
Of course, Class 5. They're all tough to win a state title. I'm not trying to discount that. But once you start getting into Class 4, of course, you're dealing with Vashon there. Class 5, you're dealing with the Vianneys. You're dealing with the DeSmets. Now, we have heard, and we understand to be true, Vianney will be Class 6 next year because you get points for winning.
They get a multiplier.
A multiplier, and they get a championship factor, and they've got enough points that kicks them up to Class 6 next year. So the way too early look ahead Bulldog preview, they will not be in our way, so to speak.
I'm sure there'll be somebody though.
Oh well, yeah, it's Class 5.
Now Persempia can't jump up to Class 5, can they?
No, I
I
understand.
mean, I guess if their enrollment jumped up and then,
Yeah, they will be Class 4 next year, the way I understand it.
but that's probably not. They're probably not too far from ending up in a 5.
I think, well, the thing is, though, I think you can only jump 2 classes, and they're Class 2 based on their enrollment.
Okay.
That's the way I understand that. Don't somebody
Okay.
send me a message if you're listening. Put it on our.
But I'm
our
just saying, though,
post.
if their
Yeah.
school grew a little bit.
No, that's true. Yeah, their school grew and their enrollment. That they probably could then at that point. Yes, that is correct. So, and that's a whole nother bottle of worms.
We're not barring that yet.
No, and I know that someone talked about that on that SEMO High School basketball page, and this was kind of a disturbing statistic. They won 64 points. The kid that scored 50 points scored his 50th point to put Principia up 92-26. What exactly are you doing?
Yeah, you're not going to impress a coach outside of like looking at you for scoring a point.
I'd have a kind of a hard time with that. I mean, you're up 70 points. I mean, you're going to win.
I guess maybe if that was the point that he needed to hit like a 3,000 or, you know what I mean? Like that maybe.
Yeah, but
I'm
they
just
had to be up for a long time, up over 40 or 50
right.
points.
Why is he still in the game?
That's my whole point. I can assure you, I know Coach Hollifield, and I do not speak for him, but his actions speak for themselves. But anytime he gets up 30 points, he starts taking his starters out and putting his reserves in, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think he did that for Kobe for his 1,000th at home. Like it was going to be
Yeah, we weren't up 30, though.
No.
That was in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were up. No, I'm sorry. He left him in the fourth, hit his shot,
Yeah.
took him out. That is correct.
Yeah.
That's regular season. But and again, we weren't up 70.
Right. And as soon as I think he called a timeout, take him out.
He did, and called him out and took him out. That is correct. Yeah, and so it's a different deal. So I don't want to get hung up on that.
No,
but
because I'll tell you what, yesterday was a good day.
Yes, let's talk about the game. Let's talk about scoring. Kobe led our team with 16. Let me get down here to this.
And Kobe only had what?
He had 1 3. He was 1 of 7. And that just tells you what kind of kid he is. Didn't find the distance to go, and he still has enough confidence.
And he took it at the 7-footer.
His teammates have enough confidence to still kick it to him to hit that shot. I remember the shot. Ben got in the paint, stopped up by the 7-footer, kicked it back. Kobe was wide open.
Right above the free throw. Well,
yes.
Outside the arc. The free throw line.
Straight on, and just knocked it down and put us up 3. We went 59-56 when he hit that. The Bulldogs, as a group, they shot 24-50 from the field. That's 48%. We were 7 of 15 from 3-point, which is phenomenal. We were 7-8 from the free throw line, which is massive.
Massive, yeah, because they were like 4 of 8.
They were 4 of 8. That is correct, and it's kind of surprising from a team that shoots the ball that well.
Yeah,
but
well, I think they're rhythm shooters.
Yeah, for sure. The Bulldogs forced 8 turnovers and committed 6. Let's see. Kobe had 16 with 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Jaharis had 12 points, 5 for 8 shooting, 4 rebounds, and an assist. Ben James scored 9 points on 3 for 5 shooting, and he directed the offense with 5 assists along with a rebound and a steal. Marquell had 9 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. Sean Cole finished with 8 points and had a team-high 8 rebounds. Now, how do you get – now, this is a credit to Sean.
Off the bench and
leading your team. And it's a credit to Sean. And they've got a 7-footer, and he's getting 8 rebounds over him. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable.
He had a great game.
He did.
Well, everybody played it.
They were awesome. And another interesting fact, this group of seniors, starting with their freshman year, have 104 victories over 4 seasons, tying the winningest class in program history, which was the 2011 seniors, which Coach Hollifield Coach Will Hollifield and Coach Caleb McGee were part of that team. So if they get,
if they win,
they win, they'll be 106, and they will move that mark forward for some more classes to try to get. Now, this freshman group this year has a chance to be special. I can tell you and sophomores and all together, but our freshmen are can be special. I can tell you, we've got some pieces coming. So again, we're not looking past anything. We can't look past Raytown South. If you can get there, I urge you, Micah and I urge you to get to the game in Columbia. We play Friday night at 6:00. What a great time to play. Yeah, you have to leave at noon Friday, but it's not. Man, they had those weird times a couple years ago, like Tuesday and Thursday. Don't do that. Do it Friday and Saturday, and that's what they've done. The Bulldogs play Friday night at 6. If they win, when they win, we will play Saturday night at 8:00 against the winner of MICDS and Hillcrest. Hillcrest is Springfield. MICDS is St. Louis, and we're the Southeast representative, and Raytown South is the Kansas City area Northwest representative. So, get back to this article.
Go ahead.
No.
I thought you were going to say about Raytown South, the coach being the same.
They're 18-11. Their coach was the coach at Grandview that beat us in 2018. They won a state title in 2018 and 2019, by the way. Is that Class 4 then? Or were we Class 5? I think
we're Class 4.
I think there was only 5 classes in. I think we're Class 4. Yeah, they beat us like by 3. And then the next year we got knocked out in districts, and they moved on. Yeah. This is our first Final Four since 2018. MICDS is 25-4, and Hillcrest is 21-9. But I urge you to try to get there. Mizzou Arena, it's a big time venue. Obviously, Tigers play there. Mizzou Tigers. I give a shout out. We talk about this, and we talk about different guys, but let's talk about our seniors. Drake Williams, guy that's been with the program so long, he gets some minutes. Sometimes it's limited, and he comes in and he's just
But he's crucial to the team. I mean, like he's there for
absolutely
pushing them, and
absolutely that's where I get frustrated when I hear somebody, and it's somebody that's really don't know what they're talking about, or they're basically a hater, and they start hating on a kid because he doesn't play or as much as he might want to. You know what? This kid is working his guts out just like the rest of them, but he pushes his teammates. That's part of his role. And besides all that, he is a knockdown shooter, and they know they got to guard him in practice. And so when we're playing a team with some knockdown shooters, they know that if Drake gets the ball, he can shoot it and he can knock it down. And so he is just an outstanding teammate as well. Got Ben James, who might be – he's probably one of the meanest kids, and I mean mean in a good way as far as mean as like basketball. He will get on the floor. He will, not, as we say, he'll gnaw an arm off.
Well, I mean, the foul he got yesterday was trying to push somebody off of him.
Yeah, we went back and watched that.
It should have been an O-call.
Yeah, the kid was grabbing his jersey. It was probably a foul because he extended, but that's okay. But
the kid was pushing him right before it. I mean,
right.
I'm not,
right. No. I know.
The kid baited him into it.
He did. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened. The kid baited him right into it. But Ben got the last laugh, right? Mm-hmm. But Ben's one of the quiet leaders on the team. He's steady. He can just shoot the eyes out of it. I didn't realize this. He's shooting like 44% behind the arc.
Man, listening to the game like back, and it was 38%, 39, 40. I'm like,
yeah,
we can shoot the ball.
Yes,
with the best of them.
Yes, very much so. Agreed, Micah. That's a great point. So obviously he's one of the leaders. You got Kobe, who is the team leader as far as he's scored the most points. He's got the highest average. He can handle it. He can shoot it. He's Micah and I talk about this all the time. For a kid that's 5'10", he tips so many passes. I mean, he must have go-go gadget arms, Inspector Gadget arms.
Well, I'm not. That group of boys, though, they're gym rats.
They are.
I mean, you catch them on any day of the year.
Yep.
And they'd rather be at the gym playing basketball.
Yep. Or shooting or working on their game or whatever. That's right.
Or playing a pickup game.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep. Agreed.
and have been since they were young.
Yep. And they coach works with them. They work. They have to want to work. It's just it's just not going to happen. Mm. They've put in hours and hours and hours and hours of shots. Move on to, but Kobe he's all around. He can just can flat
and he's
score.
A leader too.
He is a leader. Our seniors are leaders. He and Ben are the team captains. They go to the huddle before the game to speak with the other captains and the coaches and the officials. That Markwell, and as I've heard him described, God just waved that wand of talent over Markwell just a little bit longer than the rest of us. Actually, maybe not just, like a lot longer.
He might have dipped it in, like he touched him with it. He
didn't run it over. Wave it.
He touched him with it.
Ding. Agreed. And Markwell, in the history of our program, and I'm talking about the Hollifield era, I can think of one other guy that had the athleticism that he did. When that would be Cal Lane back in 2009. That was Cal's senior year. Graduated with Michael Porter. Cal wasn't as skilled as Markwell. Now, Cal could play. He could jump out of the gym. He could do a lot of stuff. Markwell, in my opinion, has a little bit more skill. When I say skill, handling the ball, shooting the ball. Cal could do a lot of things too, but Markwell has more skill. And Cal might have been a hair taller. I think Markwell's 6'3". Cal might have been 6'4" or 5. But both can just leap.
Get up.
Oh, my gosh.
Just shoot.
That's what I mean. Cal wasn't necessarily, again, I'm not knocking him. I'm just describing him. Wasn't necessarily a three-point threat. Markwell is a three-point threat. Markwell can put it on the deck and get around you and then tomahawk it in your face.
Just the miss and rebound yesterday, the putback.
Jaharis, put a spin move on that big kid, and he tipped it and hit the backboard. Markwell caught it. If you noticed, it caught it like about his waist and then had to bring it up and dunk it, which was
in like matter of inches. I mean, like not like from the free throw line. He was within, like, it was off the rim, and he just brought it from his chest to.
Yeah. So we've talked about Drake, Ben, Kobe, Markwell.
You got Will.
And
where we talked
Jaharis.
About,
we talked about Markwell. He had 9 points, bunch of rebounds, bunch of assists, handled the ball, handled their pressure yesterday, was off the charts. Absolutely off the charts yesterday, as they all were.
One thing I want to say about Markwell, he don't have to be the leading scorer.
No.
But he fills that stat up. I mean, like, he could have a quadruple double about when.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
He very well could.
Yes.
On most given days.
Yes, he could. He absolutely could. Moving on to our other senior. We got two more. Will Lape, you and I talked before the game, and I said if Will hits a three and draws a charge, we're going to win.
What's he do the first thing?
Takes a charge. We went back and looked. Yeah, I mean, literally like 2 possessions. Bam, charge. I looked at Micah, and I was like,
there's one.
Well, there's one. And then literally I looked at the clock when they showed it. We weren't even halfway through the first quarter. Kick out to Will Lape. Bang. 3. And I went, holy cow.
People probably don't realize Will could probably shoot the lights out too.
Oh, he can.
If he played, like, I know he plays, but he plays his role in this game. This team. I mean,
he does. He knows his role. That's the key. Not everybody can be Kobe. Not everybody can be Ben. Certainly, everybody can't be Markwell. Nobody has the athleticism.
And that's one of the things I think is a staple of Coach Hollifield is that he can get people to buy into what they can do and what will benefit the team.
Yes, Will we say this all the time. If one of these kids were on a lesser team, they would be the leading scorer.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, to a person, you ask any kid on this team, would you rather be at, and I'm not even going to say, at X school, an average 20, or would you rather be in the Final Four? They will say, I'd rather be in the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
They know what it's like to play for Coach Hollifield. That's why yesterday, Tristan, Chris, Trace, JT Jones, who am I missing? Lontez McClinton Jr. was there. Marquise Parks, talked to him after the game, or on the floor. Boy, I'm going to miss some.
There was a bunch there.
Yeah. I know for a fact, I guess I can say this. It's nothing. I know the Longs are going to be at State.
State, okay.
Yep, Parker and Owen are coming. I'm sure it's spring break. I'm sure a lot of the other kids are coming too. I would say Trace, Tristan, kind of Dontrez. I would, not speaking for them, I would anticipate them being there, meeting up with their teammates. I think Peyton Howard's going to be there. Peyton, have we talked about this on here?
Is he? I mean,
he's an assistant junior high coach, baseball coach. Man, it was so good to see him.
Remember we talked about, but we couldn't say it.
Yes.
Yeah.
We Coach Pratt had some exciting news that when we had him on a while back we couldn't say because it hadn't been technically approved by the board. So it was going to happen. It just has there's a procedure.
It was a very like I think it.
Like that
happened.
day or day before.
Yeah.
And so I think Peyton's coming and Clark Stewart was there yesterday.
Clark was there.
Yeah, I saw Clark. And so I mean, these guys, man, they are
bought in.
They're
Sirakas.
Creighton. Duh. Yeah. Duh.
He's been following it all.
Oh, he's been there at all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so these guys have set the foundation for this, right?
Yeah.
Other guys before this group we talked about. JT Jones set the foundation for the guys that are there now. Set them for the Dontrezes and the Tristans and the Traces and the PJs. They set it for them. Go back a little further. The Michael Porters, the Cal Lanes. They set that foundation for all of this, right? Mm-hmm. And it's built on firm footing. Julian Beard, he was there. He's a Bulldog. He was there. I think he was there. I didn't see him. I know he was.
I don't know if he was there.
He may not have been.
I saw him. They had a big
that's
tournament
right.
of a
that's
sportsplex.
Right. He commented on some stuff. That's what it was. I would bet you $1 to a donut, as they say, he'll be in Columbia. But anyway, they set all those, and so those guys, and that's who Will and Ben and Kobe and Drake and Jaharis, Marquell. They're standing on the backs of them, right? Mm-hmm. And certainly, go ahead.
We got through Will? Did we get Jaharis?
That's where I was going to say next. Certainly, last but not least,
he had a great game yesterday too.
He faced a guy basically a foot taller than him.
He did.
I mean,
and dominated him in a lot of ways.
And just ate his lunch. I mean, he did get his shot blocked once. Yep, I think he did.
Yeah.
You know what he didn't do? He didn't back down.
No, he kept going.
He put a spin move on him, attacked him, laid it up. Matter of fact, got a huge and one late. We were down 2 or 3. Mm-hmm. We're like 43-41 or 44-41 or something like that. Got a huge and one.
And he's been doing this all year.
Oh, yeah. This is nothing new, certainly. But he battles a lot of times undersized.
A lot of times he's the one that sets the tone for the game. Like he will go and get him. He may only get like 8 points a game, 10 points.
It's not the point. Yeah.
But he's probably, I would say, over half the games he's been the first one to score.
Yep. Well, a key point last night when we were down, and I don't recall the score. I can see the play in my head. Ben's got the ball, beats his guy off the dribble, and gets about to the elbow. And when I say the elbow, that's the sideline of the lane and the free throw line. They call that little L shape there the elbow. He gets about right there. Jaharis is in the paint. What does that big guy have to do? He's got to come up and take Jaharis, right? Marquell went baseline, Ben threw a bounce pass, and Marquell hit a reverse layup. If they don't have to respect if they don't have to respect Jaharis, right? If that big guy doesn't have to come out on him, Marquell's not open. That's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like Jaharis even hit a big three. Like the big dude didn't come out on him.
It was a two. It ended up being a two, I think. But yes. Yeah, right off the bat. It was early in the game.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, don't come out on me. I'll knock this down in your face. Or as Scott Van Pelt says on SportsCenter, in your eye hole.
In your
He says it all the time.
Oh, my God. It was a good game, man.
It was.
And the seniors.
Yeah, shout out to those guys, man. They've been leading our program. Going to miss them like crazy, but we're not done. Hey, we're not writing them off. I'm wanting to recognize them and give them a shout out. Yeah, that's what we're wanting to do. But and man, come down that last play, and you said it when we get to the parking lot. What did you say about our two defensive stands prior to this?
Oh, I was talking about Jackson and Scott City game.
Yep.
About how important it was. I think I said it in the game, like during the game. I was like, how important was it to play those two games late in the season?
Yep.
I mean, and we knew what we had to do to make a stop.
Yep. And I mean, Brian talked with Brian a lot last night, and he said, it basically we're like, look, we got to have one stop to win this game. Right now, right here, one stop.
Mm-hmm.
And
they got a shot, but it wasn't an easy shot.
No, cold-blooded Sean Cole. Cold-blooded Sean, as the announcer called him. That was cold-blooded.
That was cold-blooded.
Not only hit the three to put us ahead, which was just massive. I mean, and we just went absolutely bonkers.
Yeah. Which, that play, man, Sean knocked it down, and he had to knock it down. But I'm telling you.
No, the setup to the play.
The setup was the whole team. I mean, like everybody was moving. Everybody was, and Ben drove into the lane.
Marquell drew the defense to him, kicked it to Ben. Who was on Ben? Do you recall? The 7-footer.
7-footer, yeah.
Ben, as he can do, just goes right around him. When he jumped, he looked off the defender. He looked this way because Kobe was. I think it was Kobe was there.
Look at the. Yeah.
He knew Sean was in the corner. He looked this way and then went do it to a wide open Sean. Now the big guy did try to come check it late, but Sean had already released it, knocked it down in his eye hole, and then to reverse. Actually, a couple plays before that, Sean made a huge steal when we were down one. If you recall, just inside of a minute, he still 30 seconds or so. He steals it. They try to make a cross-court pass. Sean jumps up and grabs it.
Yeah.
He comes the other way. That's what led to that possession where he knocked it down.
I was going to say, that was the same possession.
That was the same possession. That's correct.
Yeah.
After he stole it, he then knocked it down. But then, guess who was defending the kid that took the last shot? Sean Cole. Yes. Kobe was guarding his man like crazy. He guarded him. Sean shifted just a minute to try to help double team him. They kicked it in the corner. He contested it. It rimmed out. And Coach Hollifield told me after the game, he said, I told Brian, he said, if they don't make this, he said, there's only one person on this floor that's getting that rebound, and it is Marquell.
Yeah,
and it was absolutely who got the rebound.
Hey, I'm telling you, I knew that they were going to get the last shot. I felt that early in the fourth quarter, but I didn't think I knew that Long wasn't going to be the one to knock it down. I'm glad he was the one that shot it. Mm-hmm. I mean, like law of averages.
We said that yesterday. Law of averages had to come in at some point, right?
Yeah, because he shot. I'm telling you,
what a tremendous. Not to take anything away from him, 8 of whatever is just, ridiculous percentage. Oh, did you listen to the broadcast? He shoots 55%. 55% shooting threes. That's insane.
That is insane. Now, you talked a little bit about, like, some kind of gun or...
So they have there's a deal in St. Louis called Shot 360 or something 360.
I know Larry Hughes has something up there that's kind of along that line.
It's a shooting... I'm probably going to get it wrong, but basically it's like a shooting club, and they all shoot, and they can connect via an app, and it counts all their makes and misses. Somebody said I think it was Ben. Ben was over here last night too. Something like that. Teams put up like 1 million shots since the end of last year or something.
Really?
Yeah. Now we have 2 probably, but
we ain't counting them.
We don't have the actual stats, and so we're trying to come up with something similar to that here. And again, we talked about the metrics when we had Lane Ballou on here a couple weeks ago, kind of the stuff AI can help you with and stuff. But these are some more things that maybe we can help them out and help the girls out too, right? It's not just boys. Help them, help junior high, boys and girls, and so it's just outstanding. But great day. Whether we won or not, it would still been a great day to be a Bulldog, but it's a really great day to be a Bulldog right now, for sure. Mike, I think we've about covered it, and it's going to be a long episode. Stay with us, man. You do not want to miss Chief Jim McMillen. Really
a
good.
lot of good information. A lot of great guy.
Great guy.
We're blessed to have him leading our community.
Yes.
In safety.
Correct.
You know, I mean, we talked a little bit about public safety versus, just straight police department.
Right. Correct. Yeah, we're public safety. That's police and fire. Yep. Please hang around and listen to him. He's really, really good. Got lots of good things to say. But great day to be a Bulldog. And by the way, recording on Sunday afternoon. Be safe tonight. There's supposed to be some weather come through. Yeah. We pray that it's just moves on over.
Right? Pray that blows through quick.
Yeah. Just move on, and
maybe some of this wind take some of the energy out of it. That's been blowing all day.
And button up tomorrow. It's going to be cold. Mm-hmm. We got one more, maybe a couple days cold. Just button up. And again, support the Bulldogs. If you can't be there, I get it. Watch them, root them on from here. They'll be on the radio. It will be on Misha TV. Pay the $10. Watch it. You will not be disappointed, I assure you. And stick with us. Again, right after this break, we're coming right back with our guest. We got to say it, even though we're not. Got to say go Bulldogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. Hey, thanks for sticking with us after the break. We now are moving on to our special guest and someone that we know has taken some valuable time of his to come on the show for us and just visit with us and hear his story. And so we are very happy to have him on. Mike, I'm going to get right into it and read his intro. Our guest today is Chief Jim McMillen, Chief of Sikeston Department Public Safety, a respected leader in the community and someone whose job demands calm character and accountability every single day. Jim has dedicated his career to public service, but he's also helping shape conversations in a different way as 1/3 of the local podcast of Chief, Cap, and Chap. So tonight we get the best of both worlds, the public safety leader and the guy behind the mic. We'll talk about his path, his role, the state of public safety in Sikeston, and what he's learned through leadership, service, and staying connected to the people he serves. Chief,
welcome to the Doghouse.
Welcome to the Doghouse.
Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for giving us your time. You know, we've worked on this for a few months, and I can empathize. I don't exactly understand, but I know your schedule is, I'd say, it has to be flexible at best, right? Or worst.
It can be flexible for sure. It just kind of depends on what's going on.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I would say if we had tried this during rodeo, you'd probably be a little preoccupied.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a bad time for sure. I could probably get it done, but it would look bad to everybody else. Right. Like, where is he at?
Right.
You know?
Well, I often wonder how, do you go on vacation? I mean,
well, not during rodeo.
not during, but I mean, how do you juggle that stuff? I mean, because there's expectations of you. You know?
Yeah, not a lot. I mean, there's summer times we try to get off with some guys and go play some golf for a week. Coincidentally, next week we're going with family, trying to get down to the beach a little bit.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be a little chilly, but that's fine.
Right?
Fine me just to get away.
Right.
So.
Right.
Well, you need that in law enforcement. I mean,
and
I know one of the big things in the last year, y'all kind of went to a new schedule too, haven't you?
Yeah. We've tried traditionally for many years doing 8-hour schedules, and I was apprehensive about the 12-hour schedule because that's such a long time period. The officers really wanted that. We tried the 10s. It didn't really work for us, and then reluctantly it was like, we need to probably give the 12s. And I'm glad we did. I was skeptical. It's worked out great.
So it went from 3 shifts, so to speak, to 2?
That's right.
Is that
It's
basically?
like a 2-3, isn't it? 2-3-4.
Yeah, well, yeah. So you work from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And
Okay.
of course, the next shift comes in 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. They went from working 20 days a month on a 28-day schedule to working 14. So that's the part they like about it. And then they get every other weekend off. And traditionally, you just really didn't. I mean, when I started, it took about 6 months for you to work towards weekends. And sometimes they would move your schedule around. And you'd have to start over. You might not make it.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
But that's very important for retention of keeping employees.
It's huge. Yeah.
And
It's
recruitment.
huge. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and really like you said, the retention and recruiting was one of the major pushes for us to we've got to try this, because I think probably out of 18 departments around the area, there was 2 not doing it, and one of them was us.
Really?
So.
And I'm kind of getting. I'm just
No, listen. We can just go. That's what we talked about.
Can you explain to people kind of the difference between public safety and just being law enforcement?
Well, I mean, public safety is, as you see on the patch, it's police and fire. So that's the concept with that. There's not 3, maybe 4 departments across the state that do that. There's a big benefit as far as taxpayer dollars. You're getting more bang for your buck. The negative to that is if we're not retaining people, that we're actually, when we lose an officer, we've lost more.
Yeah.
So to put it
like an officer and a half. Almost.
Yeah. So Matt, probably in your world, it's like we're making an investment on this officer, and we want to get a return on that investment. But in our case, we're putting even more in investment, because we got to train them for both. And when we lose them, we lose a lot more than you know what I mean?
You're losing almost 2 employees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Now this, like we said, we're just going to kind of jump in. We'll come back to some stuff and kind of get how you started. But anyway, something I've been thinking about that I know it's fairly new, and if you don't mind talking about it, you have your own academy now, basically, right?
Yeah.
Tell us how that started, kind of what it is, what it does for you.
Well, Fire Captain Zach Haskin, who's a great guy, but he's the guy that will sometimes come up with ideas that are out of the box, and he's like, "Why don't we just do this?" And I'm probably the guy that's skeptical, and I'm like,
that's what you're supposed to do.
But the more I thought about it, and the condition we were in, we had 11 officers who currently worked for us in fire division that did not have patrol training. And if we're going to send 3 to 4 to the SEMO Law Enforcement Academy every semester, with our normal retention or normal attrition, I should say, it would take us probably 4 or 5 years to get them trained. And while we got guys in patrol division running short, they're still getting stressed and everything else. So we're trying to do that academy in-house to give those guys in patrol who are running short a little light at the end of the tunnel, and just kind of give everybody a little hope, like we're going to fix this problem. And so, because that's why people would leave. We have a high call load here in Sikeston. I mean, Cape City has a high call load. I mean, these municipalities that got any kind of numbers, you're going to have that.
Right.
And that's what causes they just burn out from the work, especially when you're running short and we lose them.
So I mean, I guess taxpayer dollars talk about what kind of commitment do they have to make for you to go through that academy?
Well, if we were to hire, let's say if we hired you and you say, "Hey, I want to be a police officer," and we put you through that academy, usually about a 3-year commitment. I mean, now if you had come in and worked in fire division and you've been there for 2 years waiting for this, well, you've already kind of put an investment in. But that's it's prorated. So if you have a 3-year commitment, you start hitting the street, and you work a year and a half, well, then you pay, a year and a half back. It's a $5,000 academy, but a lot of times now, they got that blue scholarship that's through Governor Kehoe that's paying for that, So, but there's a lot of other costs associated with us invested into you besides just the academy
Sure.
fee.
Right.
So that's kind of like just trying to get some kind of commitment, you know.
So they get basically a free academy for going through
Right.
it, and instead of using
Yeah,
student loans
and getting paid while we're here, and that's a big deal.
because a lot of
you
them
know.
are fire division. Aren't they?
Yeah.
I didn't think about
Yeah,
that.
because you send yourself, like you're working, you can't hardly work unless you're working at night.
Right.
And you're trying to do the academy, stay up on stuff, and go to work. It's not a good. It's hard. Some people can do it.
So now, if they go to the SEMO Law Enforcement Academy, that's out of their pocket. The cost of that is.
No, I mean, SEMO Law Enforcement Academy, I mean, they would also take the Blue Scholarship, which is a $5,000 scholarship as long as they qualify for that, and most do. But I think their academy costs are a little bit higher, you know, but, and yeah, so, I mean, it's essentially the same thing,
Yeah.
you know.
So your captains and sergeants and whatever FTOs lead that, so
Right.
to speak.
Yeah, so the Missouri Sheriff's Association is the one that had the academy, and Captain Haskin had started a conversation with them, and basically, you know, worked it out. It's like, hey, we're going to get these. Let us do it here. We will get some of our senior guys and supervisors the instructional development training they need.
Yeah.
And they'll help you. We'll teach it for you. I mean, of course they get paid and we get the benefit, you know, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So your guys get through the academy. What is that? Is that 6 months? Is that right? Or
Well, now it just kind of depends. So they got that one that started in May 18th and then they graduated February 19th. So
Okay.
it's about 9 months.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because those guys are working in fire division.
Oh.
So they're having night classes 4 nights a week. Some weekends, but you might get into a class for a Wednesday night class and, well, structure fire comes out.
Yeah.
And then we can slap a timeout on that, go do that, and then, you know, it interrupt. But it's okay because
Right.
now if we send them to Cape,
No,
we
they're-
don't get to use them at all. And
Right.
that's why we can't send a dozen people up there.
right.
Okay.
You know,
Right.
so-
Right.
Which would take longer to get them trained.
right. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense too.
And you can take somebody like no law enforcement experience and take them through this as well.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
you could do that once they can. I guess they have to complete the background, whatever they got
Right.
to do.
Yeah. All the hiring processes, you know,
yeah.
the pre-employment tests
Right.
and all that stuff. So.
Right. And that is a huge benefit.
It really is, you know, and
You
I
just
know.
had a graduation not too long ago, right?
yeah,
I saw some
yeah,
pictures.
that was
That was
our
the one, yeah.
that was our internal class. But you know, Missouri Sheriff's Association is partnered with Sikeston Public Schools, and they got a academy class going on out there, and we have 4 of our current employees in there, but there's I want to say 9 other people that don't. They're working like down south or various places. Some of them probably aren't committed. But I really like that because we're sending our instructors in there to teach, and
Yeah.
you know, Sheriff's Association pays them a little bit to teach because it's not just our own, you know.
Right.
And I think they pay. I don't do that, but I am around it some. But I think they pay some of our guys to teach here
Yeah.
too. But
So they've got 2 routes right here, or 2
yeah.
avenues,
Well,
so to speak.
I mean, this one that we did was really just we were in a dire situation,
Oh.
having so many that need it right now.
so you're not necessarily going to do ongoing with that, or
not unless we end up in that. So, and that's why we kind of shifted to teaching out at the SCTC.
okay, there we go.
And which I like because even though we have some employees out there, you know, you're around, you're talking, they get to see us, and we develop relationships. We might pull a couple more. You
Yeah.
know? And I mean, I'm not trying to steal people's
No,
officers,
no.
but sometimes they decide, hey, this sounds pretty good. We understand them, and you're just getting known. I think, you know,
Right.
so
Right. No, listen, the being on the school board, we've talked about that, the training, the EMT training. We're hoping fire training's coming too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, we're working
that's
toward that.
That's going now. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. So they did
Yeah.
the EMT the first year, and
Yeah.
Eric's doing that fire this
But you
year.
got to do the EMT before you do the fire in that program, isn't it?
Well, I mean, that wouldn't matter to us because we
No,
don't
I'm
have.
talking about from the school part. I think.
I think they just alternate years.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I was gonna
So,
say, yeah.
yeah.
So even if you didn't take EMT, you could do fire next year.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
But those are sorely needed positions.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I really like that. And one of the conversations I would like to have, and we talked about this early on, because the SCT is doing that. You get this gap that because if you got to be a peace officer, you got to be 21 years old, and we're public safety, so you only have to be 18 to be a fireman. But historically, we haven't hired you to do fire because we make you go in both divisions. And speaking of contracts, I was talking to HR. I'm like, we probably need to really look at some type of introductory to fire with the idea or a contract that says when you come of age, you go into patrol. Because you probably know this. I know you've been on school board, and or still on school board, I guess. So when kids leave, that gap for us between 18 and 21. You can lose people.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And
they're looking. They're trying to find some direction.
Yeah.
They
get hired.
But if they got to wait around 2 or 3 years, they get bored too.
That's right.
Yeah, or they say, I'm going to go do this for the time being. Next thing you know, what they're involved in works out for them, and then they're settled into that, and they may not want to switch.
Right.
So.
No. I'm with you. I think it's outstanding, and we'll certainly talk about this too, but the partnership between the school and DPS and the city and the hospital, all of everybody's a stakeholder, but the large stakeholders is even since I've been on the board is so much.
Yeah.
It's just so improved, and it's just great. The communication and
it's worked out really good. I remember because I started in 1998, and what I remember about law enforcement then. Everyone was kind of in their own jurisdictional bubble.
Right.
Right. It's like we didn't really talk to other law enforcement that well. I don't really know why, but that's how it was.
Yep.
So then we kind of go forward and we're making progress, and then we really start working a lot better with Children's Division, juvenile office, and just places like that. And then even progressing further from that is working with like mental health and then, school, these community entities. And honestly, in a lot of ways, we're all trying to accomplish the same mission, is have a good community and people getting involved and being productive citizens. That's what we all want.
Absolutely.
And so that stuff overlaps so much. It's silly for us not to be working together. And so,
Agreed.
And so we have done that. We've done it for years, and it really pays off.
Well, y'all just got done hosting CIT.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I don't know.
CIT.
That's a crisis intervention team.
Yeah.
It's the mental health aspect for law enforcement and also dealing with people who are living with mental health issues and stuff like that in the community, where we're becoming more of a facilitator of resources, where we don't, because we're not those professionals, but we know them. You know what I mean? So if we hook them up and they start getting treatment, that makes the community better.
Of course.
Our calls for service will go down. I mean, so there's a lot of benefit all the way around for that.
Totally
This
agree.
is a question, and you'll recognize that I'm from mental health.
Yeah.
When I ask these questions, I'm actually in the last year I've taken a job as a substance use counselor. So,
Right.
And one of the things I was kind of when I started going into that, there was a thing that I come across was called deflection versus diversion. You may not be familiar with those terms, but I'll kind of explain. It's like diversion is like sending people with substance use, mental health through the court system.
Right. Yeah.
Deflection is like trying to take them straight to treatment, as opposed, so if you went and picked a person up having a heart attack, you wouldn't take them to jail and then send them to the hospital.
Sure. Yeah.
Like if there was a way to create a place that you felt secure for people to go to get treatment, and that they would stick with it, as opposed to send them straight through the justice system. I mean, how would you feel? I know that's kind of a spur of the moment kind of question. But how would you? And we can cut some of this out if we need.
No, that's fine.
But I mean, how would you feel about that? I mean,
I like that, because people that are if they're living with mental health issues often end up in jail because society really doesn't know how to deal with that. You know what I mean? And if we can identify what is the core, the fundamental problem, and fix that, well, all times, the criminal side of that is probably a overall symptom of the mental health side of it. I know Judge Dolan, when he was here, he did a lot of work to try to talk about these diversion programs. It's how we call it. It may not be the same, but it's the same idea. Is that the prosecutor saying in our conversations, like, is this where he needs to be? I mean, and all times it's no. This person needs treatment. And it's not that we're not going to hold people accountable,
right?
That's exactly
what I mean.
I think there's always, like, even if you could cut that point of going straight to jail,
right.
But there's still the possibility of charges being filed if you don't follow through with what you're supposed to. I mean, like, I think that's where you get the kind of the incentive to get them to do it.
Well. The cost that it takes to send someone, I try to tell young officers this, we cannot send everybody to prison. These problems in society, we cannot arrest our way out of that, so, and that's why going into this facilitation of resources for these community, agencies, programs that we got. I mean, mental health is a big one, referring people to that and really solving the real issue,
Well, actually, the office that I work in with Boot Hill has the like the jail liaison and the peer specialist in there, and I talk to them a lot about like trying to figure out. They're always coming to me asking me about like what I think I need, what this person may need, or where can I get sources, and it's if I just feel like a lot of times they're sitting at jail when they could be at a hospital getting like or at least a treatment center. Like Cape just built the crisis center with Gibson and Community Counseling Center. That was where they take people. You can go there. They can get you assessed for meds really quick, or if you need substance use, then I don't know. I don't think they do detox there, but I mean, like, and that would be something that. But if you get a facility like that where you could go to with patients, with training, with everybody kind of getting trained with that, I think that would be a new way to think about mental health in our communities. I mean,
well, and because you also have these co-occurring disorders that take place. I mean, and drug treatment court is a great program, because you really think, how do you putting that person in prison is, I forget the numbers, like, it's going to cost taxpayers like $50,000 a year
at least,
and also think about, you're taking that person out of society. Who now they have a family, probably that's harder on that family, and there's going to be some trauma and stuff and other issues associated with that, as opposed to if you can get them into something like drug treatment, get them back working, trying to hold them accountable, and they still have to, and if you have an addiction problem, that's it's a hard, even when you're trying, I think the number is like, you're going to fail probably 6 or 8 times before.
And I mean,
it takes that many times to get through and for it to stick, so to speak. Is that what
I think that's the numbers on it. It's like 6, when somebody is really trying, because it's a hard thing,
Sure.
And I'm just thinking from a big picture, from a community or society standpoint, if we can get that person help and back into that's
producing,
so much. It's so much better for everybody.
Well, and the stigma of having like stuff like charges on you, it's hard to find. Some of these people find jobs. I mean, like, and it literally, I mean, they're great people now. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, they always had been. They just made some poor choices and led to some things.
I hate that, because it's like, I've seen people who are legitimately trying to find a job, and very few people will hire them. It's something that may have happened 20 years ago. So
that's I do like the part, though, like you both mentioned, that we're still going to hold people accountable.
We still do that, but you can do that in a way where you're trying to get them re-entered into society to where they're going to be productive, I think.
I mean, like, there's studies out there. I mean, like, if you look at, like, I think the opposite of addiction is support. You know what I mean? Like, because addiction is isolation. you know, in a lot, because a lot of people end up isolated from that process. So like there was a group of Vietnam veterans that come home. They looked at them, you know, like opiate use and substance use was high through Vietnam veterans, and several of them that were using in Vietnam, when they come home, they stopped using, but a large percentage of them kept using. And one of the things they looked at was like the people that come back and had support tended to be, you know, more likely to succeed.
Right.
And the ones that didn't were the ones that continued to use, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, creating systems like where you don't have to send them away to prison or you know, away will allow that support system to kind of be in, and us as professionals to work with families to teach them how to deal with that too. You know what I mean? Like, but I think one of the bigger things is engaging them at all levels. You know, like if you're at the levels of change, you know, like you had the pre-contemplation, the contemplation, and all, you know, and I think right now we only engage them in the action stage. You know,
way at the end.
Yeah,
not
at
trying
the end,
to catch them early. You're saying,
yeah. So we can't engage them. You know, we're until they get to the action stage. You know, and
well, if you look at it like this, and this is because a community has so many different programs to deal with people and their personal problems, social issues, or it's drug abuse, if I can say this, drug abuse, mental health, and things. But oftentimes, when it gets to the point where the police arrest them, to me, that is a failure of society, that we did not, you know, intervene at the right time to get them on a path that does not lead to prison. You know, I mean,
and I mean, I know
I mean, everybody's got to be held accountable for their own. You know what I'm saying?
No, trust me. I mean, like we talked about this with trauma informed. You know, what I mean, trauma informed doesn't mean that you don't have consequences. That just means that you maybe approach them with like what happened. You know, instead of like what caused you to do that. You know what I mean? Right. And I think that doesn't mean that you don't hold them accountable. I think it means that you.
Yeah, and that's a big, people, you know, when I have these conversations, people feel like, well, so you're not going to hold them accountable. No, absolutely not. I mean, there's we can do both. I mean, the court systems is set up to do both, assuming that we can get some people that actually will want to try to engage in those services.
Well, trust me, I get a lot of people. Like I said, I could probably, I'm going to say, I could tell you a lot of times when a person's going to succeed throughout that first assessment. You know what I mean? Even the ones that I think will succeed have hangups. You know what I mean? Like they have times that will do that. But I mean, it's a process, and you know pretty quick, because first of all, I look at commitment on anything. Like if I'm looking at whether a person is going to do things, it's their commitment. You know what I mean? Are they going to show up? Are they going to do the work? You know, and if they're not willing to do that, there's not a lot I can do. And you know, I mean.
And it does go beyond them too, because their family and their kids that are growing up and seeing that, and it causes a lot of struggles and difficulties for them, and it may be more likely that they will fail or fall victim into that path. So I mean,
trying to break that chain.
I'll be honest with you, that's a big thing with me, and like I've kind of felt like, and I may have shared this one here before, but I feel like God has led me in the past to, I want a group of 10 men that are Christian men that will disciple 10 young boys going in like the 5th grade. And when they go and like through that process, they would commit to 4 years of being mentors with those kids. Not saying at 4 years it ends, because if you commit at 4 years, and teaching them like how to be men, how to be Christian men, and engage that and follow them for 4 years, and then have them the group that you done that 10 boys with. Create the same thing when they get to high school and mimic that, and like see, I think that would create growth and change in our community. Right. I mean, but you know, it's kind of hard to find 10 men that can dedicate.
That's a pretty good commitment. But we just jumped right off in the deep end of the pool, didn't we? Hey, Micah just said we're going to start swimming. No, I'm kidding. No. So
I enjoy
those are great conversations. No. So kind of just reeling us back in just a little bit. Tell us, we talked earlier, of course, I've known Jim for a while. He's a New Madrid Eagle. So we did let him in, as long as we didn't wear green. We said you can come in.
Well, that's better than Joey. He did wear green.
Joey did. We had Joey had a big Eagle shirt. I told him I was just going to block it out.
Yeah.
So, no, tell us your story, how you got started.
Yeah.
Kind of along the way, people that helped you, kind of all that stuff.
Well, I grew up on a farm about 5 miles west of East Prairie in New Matter County. So New Matter County High School is where I went, but there was 4 of us. I lived probably 2 miles from anybody. I mean, we're pretty rural. You know what I mean? Went to high school, and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. If I'm being honest, I decided to go to college because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. And I went to college and was studying agricultural business. I didn't really have my heart in that, and I got thinking about law enforcement or criminal justice. And I was telling my dad, I said, hey, I'm thinking about changing my major. It's probably my 3rd year in college at SEMO.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister already messed this up for me. All right. So, cause she was doing nursing and switched to social work, and she ended up going like 5 years or something. So my dad,
Sure, it made him very happy.
And I probably wasn't the best student because I wasn't really happy and passionate about what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I'll tell you what, he says, I'm going to help you with 4 years. If you can get it done in 4 years, that's fine. If you can't, you're going to be on your own. I said, maybe I'll finish the ag business thing.
Right.
So I did that. I worked a couple jobs in that, and good jobs. I mean, I can't really say anything about it. I just didn't. My heart wasn't in it.
Yeah.
So I looked at a couple places, Highway Patrol, even as far as Columbia and St. Louis, because I was married by then, had a daughter, and I needed going to the academy. I needed a paycheck, and Sikeston was hiring. So I was going through their process, and Sikeston was kind of the first one that said, "Hey, we'll hire you." So I started to work here. Started in fire division. I think they hired like 8 people at the time. I mean, so they had a special academy because they were behind on staffing, just one of those time periods, and went through that academy, got on the street, worked there for a couple years, and then got into detective division by a fluke. Drew, well, I guess this was Chief Leist, before Drew was chief, was going to have a internship for detective division for like 3 months, and surprisingly, not many people put in for that. And I was like, well, I'm going to put in for it, because just at least try to get my foot in the door, learn some stuff or whatever. Well, Chief Juden took over 3 or 4 months later, in that July 1st back in 2001, and he was going to expand detective division. And he says, do you want the job? Because I knew while I'm up here, I better be hitting triples at least, you know what I mean?
Right,
so
right.
I gave it everything I had, because it was only going to be 3 months anyway. And he said, well, if you want the job, I'm just going to appoint you. And I'm like, well, shoot, yeah.
So you kind of skipped over.
I did not spend a lot of time in patrol,
Yeah.
Which upset a lot of people.
I was just going to say, I wonder how that went. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it upset a lot of people, because back then, there was a promotional process you had to go through. It was a little grueling. And even the detectives were like, man, this ain't fair. You didn't have to do that. I'm like, the guy just asked me,
right.
Are you going to tell him no?
Right.
I mean, I'm like,
hey, send me back down.
And wait another 10 years to get the opportunity.
Right.
Yeah. So I did that. Spent probably 5 years in investigations, and which I love that time period, but it is so busy. I mean, it's just a busy department, and case files, there was probably 7 of us up there, and I was working general investigations. We had some others working narcotics, and I really enjoyed that. The human behavior side of that, of really trying to understand people's motivations, and really to understand that I could sit here and talk to somebody, say the right things, and get them to tell me the thing that they do not want to tell a police officer. Mm-hmm. And you can do that, if you study on that enough, and body language and everything, the whole nine. And I liked it, but after about 5 years, I was so burnt out on that, because there was just so much. You'd get 30 or 40 cases a month.
Wow.
And I'm not even working 30 or 40 days, and then you'd have a major case happen that might take 2 weeks out of that, and so you just can't hardly keep up. but it was fun. I mean, it's probably where I learned the most about people and where I built the most relationships in town, because you're talking to suspects and witnesses. I mean, the whole nine, So decided I was going to do supervision and went that route, became a sergeant. And
So is there like a training, or is there a certification to become a sergeant? I mean, extra training?
There's a promotional process
Okay.
for all that stuff. Besides the detective, I just got the appointment, but the promotional process where you do a written test and there's a oral board and a chief's interview, basically stuff like that. So I did pretty good on that and got that position. And I probably, because back then I was looking at, I tried to look, and I try to tell these young guys, you got to look down the road, and 5, 7, 8 years down the road where, and I was looking at some of these older guys that was in these captain position. I'm like, well, he's probably going to retire, and he's this and that, and I got to be in this position, because where I wanted to be was like the lieutenant's position. It was actually for pay and convenience, because I had to go back into uniforms out of detective division. I lost my detective car. I'm back working shift work. There was a lot of negatives about it, and all those detectives are like, why are you doing that? And I'm like, I'm just kind of ready to do something else,
So it's sergeant, lieutenant, then captain, then chief. Is that right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So did that, and as things go, they don't always work out like you think. So I was a sergeant for over 7 years, which I thought I'll be here for a couple of years and there'll be another promotion. No, they hung on, and I'm like, and they're good guys, but because that's how the promotions is. You got to wait for that attrition.
Oh, you have to wait for the job to come open.
That's right. Yeah. So, and you got to be.
So they're in the structure and whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's 2 captains or whatever. There's a finite number of that.
Right.
Oh, okay. So
at the time I think we had three captains. Yeah.
Okay. So there's not 3, can't be 6. There's 3.
Right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Because city budgets, and they got budgets,
Sure.
all that stuff. And well, finally that happened, and I became a lieutenant. And then another one, I was probably lieutenant for like seemingly 5 minutes, because it was like boom, boom, and actually didn't want to be a captain. I wanted to be the detective lieutenant. And I was there I think it was less than a year, if I remember right. I know. And then it was like, the boss was like, hey, we need you to be, because the boss picks the captain. That's his command staff, and he selects them. And he's like, we need you to be captain over patrol. And I was like, oh no. Which, because at the time,
this is not working out like I wanted.
yeah, I mean, it's a good thing, but it
yeah.
adds a ton more responsibility, a ton more people you got to supervise. You're getting closer to that frying pan and the heat of it, I mean, it can be pretty stressful.
Oh, yeah.
I took the position, and that I enjoyed that too. I mean, I really, really enjoyed almost all these positions in my career. And then, of course, Chief Juden left. Chief Williams became the next chief, and then they added me as an assistant chief for a little bit of time. And I think the thought with that was that because I've done so much work with public information that they thought that might be good to have, and have him work on all the cases and the technical aspects, and have me try to handle some of the media and the internal conversation, whatever,
Right.
So
right.
But then I think it was 2019. Chief Williams had left, and then they'd asked me if I would do that. And at the time, I mean, you know me, all right. So I'm probably not the stereotypical chief. You know what I mean? I as a position, I'll be honest with you, I really didn't want to have, because I'm smart. I'm not a smart guy, but I'm smart enough to know that's the frying pan.
Yes, that's correct.
You know what I mean? And I was like, man, this second position's pretty nice.
All the heat's deflected over there.
It's kind of like being the assistant superintendent at school.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Right.
But I mean, I didn't know there wasn't anybody that really that had been there that they were going to consider. Nobody else really wanted it, and
Yep.
there was just
No wonder, huh?
wasn't just
Nobody
that much,
else wanted
just
it.
the longevity and just being around.
So it's been since 2019?
2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Time flies.
And
I wouldn't have said that.
And a lot of the staff was fairly young then too, weren't they? Like
That was part of the problem. Yeah, we had captains that were in their 30s. You know, I mean, some of them still are. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's saying something. You know,
Yeah.
like Mike Williams and Chief Juden, they all come up through the ranks.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of from my perspective, I always respected that because they had been there and done that. They understood the town, and I was fearful
Was
that
Chief? He came up all the way. From,
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
yeah, both of them did.
You know,
yeah.
that's not super common. You hear about,
Right.
you know, they have
Yeah.
this search, and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
And I'm not picking on anybody in general, but you
Right.
hear a town, and they'll go, okay, we're going to hire Joe Smith from
Yeah.
Nashville, Tennessee, and you're like,
Yeah.
he's never even been here.
Yeah,
you know,
and
so
there's probably some benefits to that.
I don't disagree, but I like this.
It
what you
kind of
guys-
scared me though, you know. And now it's not to say that sometimes you have a department and you really don't have a good choice and you got to do that. And I
Sure,
understand that.
sure.
But to me, because I'd spent a lot of time in the community, working with the community, of course, cared a lot about the department, and I was afraid I don't do that, I'm kind of to blame. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I ended up taking that. So.
Well, I mean, you're 21 years in, or whatever. I mean, if you started in '98 and it was 19,
Yeah, right.
So I mean, you're over 20 years,
Right, that's right.
I mean, could you have more experience? Yeah, but
Yeah.
dang, 20 years.
yeah.
That's pretty good experience.
Yeah, it is. You know, I think actually Chief Juden was a chief younger than I was. You know, and of course he had a ton of experience and wealth of knowledge
Right.
and all that stuff.
Right.
It just kind of made sense for him. You know, so
Sure. No, of course.
it probably made less sense for me.
No, that's
Yeah.
self-ascribed. I did not describe that.
I'll be honest with you, I feel like
Yeah.
you've done a great job.
Yeah,
I mean, like
agreed.
I
Well,
mean,
you
I
know,
mean, everything. Not. I mean, I'm sure there's
Yeah.
things that aren't perfect, but I feel like you
Yeah.
do a great job of trying to build relations with the community.
We're
Yeah.
kind of getting back to that. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Not a knock on Drew, because I thought he was terrific. Not
Yeah.
a knock on
Yeah.
Mike. Not at least of anybody.
Yeah, they both did great jobs.
Yeah.
They really did. You know, but I think for me, I mean, Clint Eastwood would say a man's got to know his limitations. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
I'm with you. I'm
And-
there too.
And I'm like, I think if you really take a good self-assessment and know, I mean, I did pretty good in police work, I would say. In fire, I did not spend a lot of time in that. You know, my career of 28 years, I've spent a little over 2 years in fire division.
Okay.
So that, I mean, it tells you right there.
So with just me, and it sounds like you already know, I got to have somebody strong over fire.
Right. Absolutely.
If you don't,
Yeah.
then everybody's in trouble.
Yeah, and if I have a strength, it is that I understand, you know, and self-assess that I need those people in those positions, and it does not bother me. I don't, you know, it doesn't. I don't feel inept to go and say, "What do you think? Let's talk about this," because it's the team that gets this job done.
Correct.
And, you know, it would be no different if you have a president and he's got cabinet members and he's bringing in people that he's going to depend on and hopefully smart people.
Yep.
And maybe even people that disagree with him.
Yep.
So we can talk about both sides of this issue and
Yep.
come up with the best solution.
Agreed. To me, in a leadership position, I got to have people smarter
Yeah.
than me. That's what you want.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't. That's what you're looking for.
Absolutely, yeah.
How could you really assess yourself if you had just somebody mimicking what you were doing?
Yeah,
You know,
and
That's
I,
not going to work.
I went through that some. I'd had people in there, you know, and you know, when you think that's going on, I'm not above throwing out just a terrible idea on purpose, just to see if anybody's going to say,
Hey, wait a minute.
Hey, Captain Broom, if you're listening,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll test people sometimes. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I'm thinking about doing this, and everybody's kind of looking at each other. I'm like, okay, we all know that's a terrible idea. Why are we not saying that?
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. That's not what I'm going to do.
We
but, you know.
we've been. I'm going to take a quick sidebar here. We were looking at it. We were doing some leadership stuff and team stuff, some team building, and
Yeah.
There was we went through, there were 5 teams, and we went through, the scenario is we were dropped at a plane crash. We were in the subarctic. And we had 15 items individually, and there were, say, 6 to 8 people on every team. Individually, we ranked 1 to 15. In what order did we need these to help us survive? There were matches and a compass and a inner tube and a tarp, and we ranked them 1 through 15.
Yeah. This reminds me of like the Oregon Trail from way back when.
Kind of is. And then we went, we did it as a team and ranked it.
Right.
And then when that was done, they had an expert pop on TV and tell us this is how it should be. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, our scores were better as a team by way more than 30%. And in every group, it asked, how many people scored better than the team? And it was 0. And so that tells me just what you said.
Right.
And this is a small sample group, but this guy that leads his class, look, I've done this thousands of times, and it is absolutely the exception for someone that might. I'll have a random person that actually has like some experience.
I was going to say they're going to have some experience in survival.
And that survival, and then they might score better than the team. But outside of that, we are way better as a team. And then the other side of that, talking about ideas, it was talking about the quality of the idea and the buy-in, and then the outcome. Actually, the quality, you could have a high, like 8 out of 10. Say the 10 is the scope. 8 out of 10 idea, like it's a really good idea, but only a 2 out of 10 buy-in. So you multiply 8 times 2 is 16. But if I have a 4, like it's not a great idea, probably below average, but it's okay. Right. But I've got 7 buy-in. You got 28. That's a better process than even having a better idea.
Good. Yeah.
But that's exactly the situation that you described.
Well, I think there is it's really important when you're on a team of any type, to try to develop that culture where people feel free to express those ideas and be honest with you. And it's okay to disagree.
Yeah.
I'm not, especially if you're the boss or whatever. Just to be sure to welcome those ideas and where they feel comfortable, because if you don't, then you don't even know what they're really thinking.
Right. Right. That the team approach isn't just for banking or industry. So it's for law enforcement, or it's for mental health or whatever.
But even through that process, understanding how group dynamics work too, is, a lot of times people are really committed to things to begin with, and the very next stage is storming.
It's forming, storming. That's what we just went over that yesterday. Actually,
it's form. You look at the movie.
Then performing is the last one.
And adjourn is the last. But I mean, like, if you look at the movie Remember the Titans, all those stages are there. They come in. They both wanted to play. They all wanted to play football. They were there. They were going to do it. Get to camp. They start having arguments, and once they come together and identify their purpose, then they become into performing, and then you get into norming, or actually norming, then performing, and then adjournment. So and I think that's pretty good to understand those things.
For sure.
There's one way to know that you don't have that trust in a meeting where people feel like they can speak up, is like you'll have the meeting.
And then they have a meeting after.
They have a meeting after. Yeah. And you're like,
wait a minute. So, what are some top priorities, and obviously not things you can't talk about? What are some of the things that top of your list DPS is focused on and for this year, or coming up and in the future?
Well, we've named one already, is that academy, and trying to catch up, and we've done a lot of work on that. The Fire Station 2 project is really coming along, and we're really pleased about that. We've needed that. I mean, when I started, they put me at Fire Station 2, and I was like, oh,
so
my
which
gosh.
one is 2?
That's on North Main, at
okay.
506 North Main.
Well, that one...
Well, that's the old one. Let me put it that way. So,
right. Well, I mean, that's a current, I guess. Fire.
Yeah.
So will you...
Which is actually we're not using because it flooded again.
Oh, I know. It's down in that valley, and it just water comes in there.
Aren't they trying to fix that too?
Well, they are. Yeah, because I think it has a lot to do with the construction that they're doing on the culverts and stuff on East Malone. And,
Yeah, I think that's drainage from over on like Lake and Tanner. And
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Yeah, all the city drainage system, I'm probably not the guy to talk about this, but it all kind of converges in there around that fire station, goes out, that Applegate area, and it goes out to that where they're doing the work.
Well, not only that, that's on that hill that kind of runs down.
Right,
and
right, yeah.
Then they got to get it from there.
So will you, and abandon is not the right word, will you not use that any longer after this one's built?
No, we won't. I mean, just for simple fact, we have repaired that a number of times, and we had a meeting after it flooded and was like, how much is this going to cost? And I don't remember, it was at least going to be $50,000 to renovate it again. And we were like, we're already moving on this new station. It makes no sense to spend tax dollars to do that. In the meantime, we can push some people at Fire Station 1 and 3 and just try to make it work, which we've had to do before.
Yeah.
Because it's flooded.
It's flooded.
Before. Yeah.
Yeah. So one is where?
So that's on Northwest Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out by Compost. Or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's one. 3
Yeah.
is
Abel's Road.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so the 2 is the one going in by Burger King.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and ideally we have that number 2 station be our main station, because
Okay.
that's where the fire crew is going to be pulling out with the fire engine. And, you have engine operators ideally on Abel's and one on Northwest, but that center one in the center of town who's going to be fighting the fire, it can be in the middle and go either way.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
So I mean, and actually, wasn't it last year that we got like one of the higher ratings for our fire department
Yeah.
system?
Yeah.
That's
How the heck do you know all this, Mike?
that's true. Yeah, I think it's
That's great.
that ISO
Good stuff.
Yeah, in that case, like golf, the lower the better. I think
Right.
we've been a 4 forever and got it actually dropped down to a 3 with a lot of work. Because you'd have to just that encompasses a lot of stuff.
and actually that goes into saving us money as individuals. Because,
Correct.
It does, yeah.
Because of
Absolutely.
insurance and
Absolutely, it
stuff.
does.
Yeah, it's a big deal for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do
That's
I know
great.
that stuff? I read the paper.
Yeah.
Whoops. No. That's great. That's great.
But yeah, we're also just trying to. We're always trying to work on the culture of the department and because we have a lot of new officers. We had 10 graduate, so
Right.
you're incorporating them into and it's. I'm a firm believer leadership is top down, and
Yes.
if we're not really expressing the type of service we want for the community, type of attitude we want for and that's never ending job. You're
Right.
always trying to do that.
Right.
We was a supervisor meeting today, had a long discussion about that and just fundamental ideas of what policing is and how that's changed over time and even how 911 systems which is one of the best innovations that we've had. However, it also created more of a reactive style of policing, because calls come in,
Now
they
you
get
go.
dispatched, now you go, as opposed to, 60s or whatever, where nobody had cell phones. Well,
Yeah.
cops had to be in these regional areas
Yeah.
and actually talk to people,
Yeah.
develop relationships and try to prevent crime. And
Yeah.
so a lot of that's is not really, and the call load because of 911, which again is great, but it's like quadrupled call load when that stuff finally come in. And so, but you have kind of the same amount of officers. So
Yeah.
And now,
and people call you for stuff that's not even
Emergency.
Yeah, well, yeah, or criminal. It's like a civil matter, and it's like
Right.
you still got to go, and because you don't want that to break out into a disturbance. And
Right.
so we're never going to get away from that. We don't want to get away from it, but I'm really trying to have the captains and supervisors teach these young officers of what really proactive policing and how do we improve. And it always comes back to relationships and good service and trying to address these problems and prevent them. That is, that sounds like common sense, but
Yeah.
But in the way that we do, we're so busy, it's hard to get in that prevention stage.
it kind of goes back to what I was talking about, engaging them at the right action stage.
Yeah.
The change stages of change.
Yeah.
You got to engage them before they do it.
Right. That's
I mean,
right. Yeah.
And the only way to do that is to be out and things like this. I mean, like this is why you do things with
Yeah.
the community, so that people can listen and hear
Yeah.
Right.
and trust you.
Right.
Yeah, and I'd say technology has been such a big deal. We've incorporated, so we're constantly trying to work on that and trying to expand technology to really assist in our investigations. I mean,
Man, those shot trackers are unbelievable.
yeah,
Well,
they work really well.
We got one of those drones like Cape has. That was pretty.
Not yet, but I've seen that. That is pretty awesome.
That was pretty. I mean, like the apprehending that shoplifter or whatever. That was pretty.
Yeah, back in the day, I don't want to say this is my idea because I was just being stupid when I said it. But I said, because at the time I was kind of a nerdy Star Wars buff. I'm like, you see these TIE fighters, they got droids in there. I said, what if we had the Crown Vic with a droid or something that flies and this goes, and it can pop up and all this stuff. But there's nothing new under the sun,
That's right. That's what they say. That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah. So
That was pretty cool though. I seen that a couple weeks ago, and
it is really neat.
Yeah.
It really is.
I hate Big Brother, but I mean, like at the same time, it makes me feel safer.
Yeah. Well, and that always seems to come up in all this technology, but the fact of the matter is, first of all, we take that very serious. I mean, whether it's license plate readers or city cameras or stuff like that. There's audit trails on that. There's audit trails on mules and NCIC, and if we find anybody doing that, there's a high probability they're going to lose their job, and those guys know that because I mean you're talking about the Constitution,
That's the trust.
Constitution,
Absolutely.
the Fourth Amendment, and these unlawful search and seizures and stuff. That's a big deal,
Dang right it is. That's
So
a big deal.
and it does go to trust and.
Yep.
You just can't have that.
Right.
So.
Are there, talked about some of the things you got, priorities, top things that you're trying to do. Are there things that keep you up at night? We talked about some with Joey.
Yeah. The things that keep me up at night, is probably the safety of the officers. Of course, we lost Officer Franklin back in October, and and we try to do our best to help agencies because we're one of the biggest cities and around. We have a lot of resources that other cities don't have, and we want to do that. And but that it brings in some risk, So the training that we've and after you have something like that happen, you go into a debriefing. And you look at training considerations and things that went wrong that we can. Of course, we did all that, and we're trying to develop more training and add in some different tactics and stuff like that. But honestly, that's a terrible deal, and you always worry about that. I hope it never happens.
Yeah.
But that's one thing for sure that I'm concerned about.
Absolutely.
But and there's just these guys are going to dangerous calls and stuff. Anything can happen, and they're as professional as they can be. You can't predict the future.
No, no, that's right. That's right.
I know one of the things that when Sheriff Higginson was on, talked about youth gun violence being like big concern.
That's a big deal. I mean, and what's funny about that? I can remember I was having this conversation with John Broom, my patrol captain. When I was talking to him, and because he's been around as longer than I have.
Yeah, I worked with him when I worked in Children's Division back in 2003.
Yeah, but but way back in the day, you might get a gun off somebody, and it was this rusty old FIE revolver or whatever. And nowadays, it's these high end, the laser light, gun light, and high quality guns. I mean, from kids that are 14, 15 years of age, and it's just like, what is going on? I mean, it's unbelievable. That's concerning, because I don't think it's some of these kids so casual about that.
Right.
That's another concerning point.
Charlie and Scott talked about.
Yeah,
Scott Ezel.
It is a suicide prevention, but
but
I know that
kind of went into
isn't Lincoln
that.
University and I think Lester over in Charleston have some gun violence.
Yeah, they
grants.
do. Yeah. And I forget the name of it, but they had they're still having meetings on that, and
Yeah.
Lincoln is, and
I think it was Lincoln. I thought it was Lincoln.
Lincoln started, but I think Lester is a part of that too.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I might be mixing the two. Mm-hmm. He had one thing, I think, and then Lincoln got the that's Brenda Robinson Eccles,
Right.
and I had a chance to talk with her, and I said, I just want to thank you for doing that, because so many times people put that on law enforcement, and we should be working on that. And
Right.
We are working on that,
Right.
but
Well, should be a community.
It takes a community to do that, and to get that buy-in, and for somebody to say, we recognize a problem and we're actually going to get a grant and do that. That's a big deal. We should all be thankful for them to work on that stuff. I am, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's kind of like, what do you do though? How do you?
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons. Like I specifically look at fifth graders here in Sikeston. I think there's a big change from fourth to fifth, and then going into middle school with kids. I think that's kind of where they get introduced to a lot of things, And I feel like that's one of the reasons I would love to do that discipleship mentor program with the kids at that age.
Kind of speaking along the lines of what Brenda did, what do you try to do, and obviously from top down, but what do you try to do to help build trust between the community and DPS?
Well, I'm trying to think when this was. I think it was 2020. We were you'd have these shootings and murders, and there may be
2020 was just wild.
I know it was a bad time for sure.
Exactly.
But you'd have a shooting or something. You'd see 30 or 40 people that was out there, and no one is coming up to be a witness at all. And that's a scary scenario, So I knew we had a problem, and of course, there was some incidents that we had, some officers that. Not getting into all that, some misconduct, and just some of it just criminal behavior, and they've charged and everything like that, which really got into the trust issue.
Sure.
And so we jumped into this Department of Justice. You may remember this, but it was Community Relations Specialist, strengthening police and community partnerships. So, DOJ has a lot of acronyms. I'm trying to remember them all.
I was going to say they're known for that.
I'm proud of myself that I remembered.
You did.
Everybody's got their own alphabet.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
But you often see them come in after you've had an officer-involved shooting, and we had one that year, but I'd actually started talking to her before we had one, and because I was like, we're having so much conflict here. I'd really like to try to, before this thing just really gets out of hand, and try to bring people together. And so, talking about internal cultures, there were some people then that were thinking, well, Chief, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, listen, we have a serious problem. I mean, the lack of trust, and we've got to try to build that trust back.
Yeah.
And so, but to do that, you've got to really open yourself up for that meeting and that criticism, and that's not comfortable.
Right.
I mean, nobody likes that,
No.
but I also felt
the things that you were doing weren't working, right?
Right, that's right.
And just because we've done it that way for 40 years doesn't mean we should continue to do it if it doesn't work.
But I also felt like, and I was telling some of the guys, I said, listen, we don't do anything improper. If we do, we should change that. But I don't see that. And there's no reason that I should not be able to stand up in a group and answer questions.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of it is just that people don't understand how processes work, how criminal law works, how use of force works, all these questions, And for sure, we certainly had a problem with relationships. And as my dad would say, relationships are a two-way street. So we had a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
You know what
that's
I mean?
Right.
And so,
absolutely.
And we had to acknowledge that. We jumped into it, worked on that, and that really, I mean,
I feel like
it really helped.
I feel like
anytime you get them and us, I think
that's all. It's not going to work.
And that's what we had, was an us versus them mentality,
Yeah.
and it was pretty obvious to me, and we were trying to change that, you know. So And I think on both sides, and even internally looking, sometimes it took a couple of years for officers to look back and was like, I was not going to stop you from enforcing state law or city ordinances. No, we have to do that.
Right.
We've got to do that. But
Right.
we can't do it very well without the community support.
Right.
I mean,
Correct.
that's just the simple fact. Especially if you're talking about preventing crime, you can't hardly do it at all. And even when you make the arrest, how are you going to prosecute if you can't get witnesses to participate?
I was thinking, say,
Won't.
what is the number one way that people are caught? Somebody talking.
Right.
Right.
And
That's
if everybody's
right.
being closed,
Yeah.
I mean, then you're part of the problem too. I mean, like,
Yeah, so that's something that I think was very important, still very important. We try to work on that and build that trust, but just trying to be steady and maintaining our image. And the thing about that is that we're human, and people make mistakes. People
Yeah.
lose their temper.
Yeah.
People have problems in their life that affects
Right.
people. You might get in a fight with your wife or something, and then you got to come to work and deal with it, and that's kind of hard sometimes. I mean, life happens.
Yeah.
But I'll say when we see that type of behavior, we are quick to jump on it.
Yeah.
Now here's the problem: we often find out the same time the community does.
Oh yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
but
I don't want to say this. I don't want to come off as like judgmental, but I think you as police officers have to police yourselves.
oh sure,
I mean, and I think that was a big process of what went.
we have to.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, because I think that's what the community kind of
Yeah.
expects now.
Yeah,
and that hasn't always been true in law
Yeah.
enforcement.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily have to be us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because somebody else at a different agency does something, and they're like the cops. It's how
Yeah, that's right.
The police.
Yep.
And it's
Yep.
like, well, that wasn't even in our state. That doesn't matter.
Right.
No,
So
No, it's a broad brush sometimes
Yeah.
that's painted with.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: how can everyday citizens, me and Micah, that people are listening to this?
Yeah.
I don't speak for Micah normally, but I know he wants to be part of the solution. I want to be part of the
Right.
solution to help
Yeah.
DPS, because frankly, it's a part of our town. We live here.
Yeah.
We want it to be good. We want everything
Sure.
to be right. What can we do?
Yeah, and I'll answer this in a more broad way, because I think it's beyond DPS. I think if you think of an idea of a community, like you got people that come together, they try to support each other, they have similar goals, thoughts, and ideas to have a nice place to live.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I've noticed, and I'm sure this is right, but I think we see this across the country, is that it's almost like now you have a collection of individuals in a community. You know what I mean? Now, certainly there are people out there that are really trying to make a difference in the community.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, I would say people that want to have a nice community have got to try to make time to participate
Yeah.
in that community processes, whether it's city council meetings,
Yeah.
or if as it relates to public safety. I mean, so often, somebody may hear a gunshot and they don't call it in.
I did that the other night.
Because I mean, it's just like it's you think, and there's a lot of reasons for that, because you might think, was that a gunshot?
Right.
I'm
Right.
not sure.
Yeah.
And then you think, well, I know it was a gunshot, but I don't know where that was at. Where's it from? So if I call them, what am I going to tell them?
Right.
Well, I'll be
I
honest
mean-
with you. I just took it as like an animal was getting in some of their chickens or
Yeah.
something. You know what I mean? And
Yeah. Well, and the other side of that is like, well, I heard that. Everybody heard that. Somebody's going to call.
Right.
You know,
so there's no reason to call.
And,
Yeah.
and really, for us, after we got that Shot Spotter program, which
Yeah.
all those reasons are why we got the Shot Spotter program, we found out that 40% of the calls were being called in. 60% of shots fired calls were not even being called in.
What?
Yeah, because we know now, because we have the device
The data.
in.
So you're
Yeah.
saying out of 10 shots in different areas,
Right.
four
Only
would
four.
four would be called
Four would
in.
be called in. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and so now you look at it from the community perspective. If you see that and you think, well, obviously somebody heard that, and then you're out there waiting, and you never see a police officer. You're like, what is wrong with these cops?
Right.
Like, well,
Right.
here's the problem.
Right.
No one's called and told us. You know
Right.
what I mean? So,
Right.
and sometimes even when you do call, you don't know, is it here on this street? Is it 3 streets over?
Echoes, you
Yeah.
hear everything.
I mean, I've heard gunshots.
Yeah.
I grew up in Charleston. I hear gunshots all over town.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and I didn't know where it was at.
Right. It's and so officers may show up in the area, but they may not be. But that's what's so good about the Shot Spotter program.
Yeah.
But
So in other words,
literally the other night, although I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
I mean, and I shouldn't have. I should have probably called. I mean,
What was the other question that you had? Or I was answering, I forget.
how are we part of it? How do we help?
Oh yeah,
How do we help?
I mean, even here's a pain in everyone's side here is when people were stealing out of cars. Mm-hmm. You know, which is I'm going to tell you up front. I'm that's happened to me. I thought I've locked my car.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
You know, or I usually give myself a little grace, but I always get on to my wife.
Oh, I know. Listen, I'm the same. I tell her, I'm like, you got to bring your purse in.
Yeah.
Do not leave it in
Yeah.
your car, even in the garage. And I'll catch myself. I got my briefcase and stuff. I'll leave it in my truck.
It's
and I'm like,
it is easy to do.
I'm like,
you know.
why am I griping
now.
at her
Yeah.
when I leave mine out?
I've got my laptop in the truck right now, and I'm sitting there thinking, is my truck locked?
Yeah.
Well, good thing about my car, you can tell when she locks it, the mirrors fold in, so I can look out there.
Yeah.
But you know, it is kind of embarrassing because you think, gosh, now this is stolen. I mean, but and so people are reluctant to call us because they feel like, you know, hey, I should have locked the car. It's my fault. But if you call us and tell us that and give us that information, like, you know, down the street they may steal something and
Yeah.
there's no video.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't have anything stolen, but you do have some video that might help us. And
Yeah.
so, you know, just really kind of saying, hey, here's the deal. And if you want to report or not, it's another thing, but just call and let us know, you know, so,
Gotcha.
but
I really liked your thought about just being involved in your community
yeah.
in whatever capacity. I mean, there's so many ways that we can serve our town through the city. I mean, I was on the DPS advisory board
Right.
years ago. You can be involved in that. There's so many things that you can do.
Right. Well, and I would say this, we're staff, you know, for the city, and there's a lot of things that we are focusing on. But you'll see this sometimes. I'll see it on social media, and somebody will say, hey, why does the city not have X, Y, and Z? And of course, my thought is like, well, the fact of the matter is that a lot of, I mean, I'll use like Spread Hope Now as a great example. Mm-hmm. They recognized a problem, and what did they do? They got together as citizens and they came up with a good solution to that problem.
Right.
They've actually expanded that to Hope 180.
Yep.
And so, I mean, there's nothing stopping. I mean, I like this: no complaint without contribution.
I just talked about that again yesterday.
I like that, you know.
I
So
agree.
I'm like, hey, I understand concern. I'm not even upset that you're concerned. I'm just saying, let's work together to figure out a solution.
I agree.
You know, I'm not trying to point fingers at them or
No,
anything
no,
like
no,
that. But
no.
I'm like, we need, but you know,
that's what they did. They
Yeah.
see a problem and
Yeah.
they might have complained about it, but guess what?
Yeah.
Well, here's what we're going to do to help fix that.
yeah. And I don't know when they started that, but man, that's
It's been
really
10 years ago, probably.
Oh,
I would
easily,
say at least
easily.
10.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
didn't it start with that Hope epidemic, kind of almost like when they did the first big the volunteer day?
That may be. I don't really remember, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think it was probably about the end. So
I'll have to. Yeah, we'll have to get them on here.
we do need to get them on here.
Yeah, they're a great organization.
Well, we could say that for him at the end.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know who y'all need?
That's right. That's one of the questions. It's coming up. It's coming up. That's right. We've talked a lot. Let me get. So here we are sitting on a podcast. This is a new thing, right? Podcasts are. You've got your own
Right.
Chief, Cap, and Chap.
Yeah.
I love it. And how did that come about? Tell us about that.
Well, I tell you, we were going to a class one time. I think this is when this first started, and it was a mental health crisis intervention class that Captain Broom and Chaplain Jason Davis and I went to, and we just we're always shooting it back and forth and stuff like that. And I think it was then that we said we ought to do a podcast or something, because we're always just talking,
right,
shooting the bull anyway,
right.
And then and we didn't, and it went on, and it come up again. I think it was the start of last year, and I'm like, no, we need to do this, and it took a couple months to get the equipment. We just got some basic stuff.
Yeah.
And don't know what we're doing, but
we don't either.
Yeah. I just joined the club.
Yeah.
It's kind of,
but I liked it, because nobody ever, when you see law enforcement, it is normally they're in their information gathering stage.
Yeah.
It's very impersonal, and they got to hurry up and get that done because there's another call waiting, or just whatever it is. And it's hard to really take a lot of time and now I try to do this, but I'm not getting sent to calls to do report. You know what I mean? So those guys in patrol, and I'm like, we could sit here and we can do this and talk about some of the things that are going on, and just kind of like, it's kind of like the conversation we had here today. We try to do that, bring some people on, and we really,
but also we get to know Jim.
Yes.
Not
right.
Chief.
Yeah.
I mean, Chief, and when you see him,
they need trading cards, like baseball cards.
Yeah.
Well, and that was kind of part of the issue is really this.
I want to know
humanizing the badge.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
And there's so much negativity that goes around law enforcement, but not just law enforcement.
Yeah.
I said, I don't think this should necessarily be just about us.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people in the community. And you don't ever really hear the good things that they're doing that makes the community better.
Right.
And I was like, I think we should make this about people who are serving the community and doing the good things that people don't hear about it, and we highlight that.
That's
Chief,
exactly what we do.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
We approach it from a sports angle.
Yeah.
We talk about the Bulldogs. We talk about, right now it's obviously basketball.
Right.
But we'll talk about baseball. We'll talk about football. We talk about golf. We talk about wrestling, tennis, whatever. We talk about that. That's our.
As you say, a rising tide rises all boats.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. How can we help if we're not promoting what's good? We're not overlooking. Do we have issues? Of course.
Right.
Of course. We're imperfect people, so we're going to have problems. We're going to create our own problems.
Sure.
But we can also promote what's good. Like what are we doing to make a difference, right? And that's what we want to do. But we're approaching it from a sports angle. That's just kind of who we are. As well.
Because there will be a sports part of this before.
Right.
That's right. They call it the Doghouse. That was
Sunday afternoon. Sunday afternoon, we'll get together and we'll talk about the game Saturday.
Hopefully about a win Saturday. That's what we're hoping.
And it's service. I mean, it's not just we don't monopolize that in law enforcement. As protect and serve and stuff like that. But I don't care. It's like whatever you do, you are serving someone. In some capacity.
Yeah.
I was talking to my 14-year-old daughter about this because she's trying to figure out what she wants to do, and I'm like, you need to find out exactly, who it is that what group of people that you're going to enjoy and get some type of enjoyment out of serving. So and but specifically in our area, and maybe y'all, it's probably in a lot of people's area. If you don't find the enjoyment out of helping and serving that next person on that next call, and there's cops that do that, and you could just about point them out because they're not happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They haven't figured out that part.
Right. Right. That's right. That's right.
But you can step back in law enforcement and just kind of look at it 30,000-foot view, climate law enforcement, social media, this and that. And if you focus on all that, it's pretty depressing, But you can look at, hey, I'm going to this next call. This person has been victimized, and we're going to do the best we can to help. And people appreciate that.
Yeah.
And it's rewarding, So.
And so on your podcast, I've seen you've had some SROs on there.
Yeah.
You had the 911 folks.
Yeah.
Now, are y'all housing all 911 now?
Well, not all of it, because Scott City still has their PSAT.
Okay.
Which is their public safety answering point. is what we, it's their 911 center. And we have Scott County merged with us. So, and there's 16, I think, dispatchers, communication officers that we got.
I got a
Yeah.
little cousin that's one.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Brooklyn.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, and Dakota.
so
Yeah.
you're highlighting even folks within the
Yeah.
department, so to speak. Is
Right.
that what you're?
Yeah, just trying to, again, that's part of that humanization of
Yeah,
the badge.
I love
and,
it.
And, the communications officers I thought was kind of neat because nobody ever sees them
No.
at
Right.
all. Nobody
Right.
knows who they are. And,
Right.
and they're such an instrumental part of what we do. I mean, it really is,
It's a tough job too.
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't either.
I couldn't do it. I mean, I'm telling you, because that call comes in. First of all, you're talking to people on their very worst day.
I was just gonna say frantic, probably.
Frantic at that moment.
I
Cause
mean, I've
it's,
had to call before, and I'm like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Other than this is the facts and go with
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, some calls are a lot worse than others. They're calling 911. I mean, it's stressful, and you've got to take that information and whether it's EMS or fire or police and relay that. And sometimes it's never good good enough for us. We're like, well, did you ask him?
Yeah.
So they got to deal with that. And we're always trying don't talk to the dispatcher like that. She controls where you go, and you'll end up with 20 calls that day.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Be nice.
Yeah, you better be nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's so how long have y'all been doing that? What's the?
I think we started that consolidation.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I skipped on your podcast.
Oh,
I'm
the
sorry.
podcast.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry.
We started that, I think, last April. So
Okay.
we're coming up
About
on
a year?
Yeah.
Now, how many episodes have you done roughly?
I think about 25.
Okay. So you're not one a week then necessarily.
I mean, we like to be like one at least every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
a
once a
side
week,
gig. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough time.
Once a week
Yeah.
for us, or that's what we're trying, and
Yeah.
we're on that right now. But it can get challenging,
Yeah.
and getting schedules and getting people here.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
And then
it's hard
us,
to
I mean,
do.
we have
And
schedules.
us, yeah.
Yeah.
Not
This
just
is
Right.
our side.
This is our
Well, then what I'm talking about. Trying to get, and then you got somebody, and then they don't make it, and then you're
Right.
like, now what? And it kind of
Right.
puts you behind. And
right.
But yeah, we'd like to do. I think my goal is at least to have 24, couple a month or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So.
They're terrific. They're terrific.
I enjoy them.
It's not, I know it's not for everybody. I mean, but if you want to know what's going on in your community and what's going on at DPS, and
Yep.
could we try to highlight other people? I had Shannon Hollifield on there. She's always fun because she is just
Had her on here. She's
full of energy.
Spitfire.
Yeah,
Yep.
she does a great job.
Yep.
I think we shared a couple. I think when back at the JCs, I think almost the same time.
Oh,
Y'all
yeah,
had the JCs. We had the JCs.
Yeah.
That's and that's okay.
Yeah.
We can have the same guests.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's great.
Yeah.
We've got Andy scheduled to come on later. New soup. Obviously you may want him too. I think,
We talked about that, and I was like, well,
we want him to get in first.
yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's-
kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah. That's why I said
so-
later in the summer.
Yeah.
And I've talked to him. He's like, let me
Yeah.
July 1, so to speak.
Yeah.
Give him some time.
He'll
to
be
get-
good. I think he'll do a really good job.
Andy's going to be terrific.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, we've talked about this before. As far as we can tell, he is our first Bulldog graduate to be superintendent.
Oh, really? I didn't think about that.
I didn't realize that.
Yep. Yep. And which is why I think it's really cool that you guys have started, and then worked your way up to chief to have that.
Yeah.
I think can you do it? I mean, obviously, yes, the school has
Yeah.
done it. The city's done it with JD.
Right.
I mean, get a guy from somewhere else, but
You get a different perspective.
you do.
I think
you do, and there's
so,
nothing wrong with
yeah.
that. But I think there's a lot of good that can be gained from
Yeah.
somebody that knows the lay of the land, so to speak,
Yeah.
when they hit the ground running.
Well, I will say I went to New Madrid, but I've spent most of my life in Sikeston.
That's right.
So,
Yeah, that's right. He's
Yeah.
another converted Bulldog.
yeah, I've had 2 graduate from
Right.
Sikeston. I got a third one in high school. So,
Right.
Yeah.
No, I think
I wear red on Friday.
that's right. Or Shannon would be on you.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. No, and like I've said before, I think the partnerships, we've talked about this a little bit, but the partnerships with the city and DPS and the schools and the hospital.
Well, and again, like I said earlier, it's overlapping things. You know, I mean, if we're having problems in the community, whether it be, some gang stuff that, and
it's probably going to come to the school.
Yeah. And we've seen it there. And that conversation it minimizes those potential problems where we're all paying attention to what's going on and sharing information. So
Right. Couple of things here, and we'll kind of wrap up. What's one thing you would want to say to somebody that's listening to the community? Is there a message that you want to say? If there's one thing that we've talked about, is there something that you want to make sure people get?
Well, I would say probably that's pretty broad there.
It is.
I would say, there's people have these preconceived ideas what they think police in general are about, and police departments or even police officers that matter are as different as there are stars in the sky. You know what I mean? So if you had a bad experience with an officer somewhere, don't assume that all officers are that way, you know. So, and I would say this: if you have a bad experience with one of our officers, come in and make a complaint. And so I can't fix the problem if I don't know there's a problem.
Okay.
And there might be an explanation for why that happened that way, or our guy may have just been out of the lines there, and we will deal with that. But need to know that if that's happening.
Yeah. I think that's great. That's great. And one last thing, what do you want at the end of the day, when you hang up and take off the shield and retire the weapon, the duty weapon, what do you want your legacy to be as chief?
I don't know that it would be any different than as an officer or as a sergeant or detective. I just want people to know that I came to work and tried to make the place a better place. You know what I mean? And tried to leave a positive impact on, as chief, a positive impact on those young officers, and really trying to get them to understand that it is not, to use your phrase there, is not us versus them scenario.
Right.
I mean, we are part of the community.
Yeah, you live here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have to understand that, and that, I always bring this up all the time, and it's interesting to me, and you have to Google this because I always tell people to Google it. But in the academy, they teach you about Sir Robert Peel and the Peel Principles, and he was the father of modern policing out of London. And in 1827, so this is like 200 years ago, he had 3 core ideas and 9 principles. And you ought to Google that because
I'm writing it down right now.
I read that, and that is as on point today as it was 200 years ago. But it seemed like at some point we're kind of deviating from that as law enforcement in general. And I think, that, not to pick on 911, but I do think because of that reactionary type of policing, we just don't have a lot of time to really develop towards these relationships and stuff like that, which is so vital. And we have to be intentional. I mean, I love 911.
Yeah,
it's a great program.
Of course.
But we got to understand that really creates a reactive style of police force. And we got to be intentional about going out there and making the effort, knowing that, making the effort to be proactive and develop those relationships.
Now, there is a way to contact y'all without going through 911.
Yeah.
I mean,
471-4711.
That's right. Yeah, and we have anonymous tip lines if you want to leave anonymous tip lines. We haven't had a lot of use with that, and I'll tell you.
Is that what's the number, or what? How do we do?
I knew he was going to ask me that. I don't have it on me. I'll have to get it to you or something.
Okay.
Which I could do. And it's like around the top of my head, but we had that, and I'm going to tell you, I told IT because we had, it it would tell you it had caller ID on it. And I said, we have to take that off.
Yeah.
You know? And he's like, well, are you sure? Blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, because I'm telling everybody it's anonymous.
Right. Right.
If it's not anonymous, then I've lied to everybody, and there goes our trust. So
that's it. That's part of it.
But the thing about that is, you don't have to call to the point where you got to testify. All you
Right.
got to say is, hey, I think y'all need to take a look at this house down the street. There's some problems there, and we'll take a look at the house down the street.
Yeah.
You don't have to testify on that.
Yeah.
So.
Trying to look it up, but I don't know if I can get it.
Yeah.
We'll let Micah look that up. All right.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go to the lightning round.
Okay. I'm ready.
Kind of a this or that, or
Yeah.
put you on the spot, but in a good way.
All right.
Coffee or energy drink?
Coffee.
Me too.
First question I ask somebody when we hire them, I say, are you a coffee drinker? And most of the time it's no, and I always shake my head.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a late to life coffee guy. I have to tell you, I'm sorry that I did.
Yeah.
According to Google, the anonymous tip line is 573-475-3774.
That's it. Yeah.
57. Say that again, Micah.
573-475-3774.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Definitely coffee for sure.
Okay, love it. Early mornings or late nights?
What do I prefer? Late nights. Yeah.
I'm an early morning guy.
I've never been a morning person.
I'm up and just get after it. What's your let's kind of put you on the spot. What's your favorite spot to grab something to eat?
You talking like quick during the day or something like that?
Yeah.
Probably Dexter Barbecue. I like the Dexter Barbecue.
I do too. I love their chicken on Wednesdays.
Yeah, they have good chicken.
I'm telling you. Oh man. What's the most used app on your phone?
It is Outlook and my email. I mean, and probably second is messaging because
I just gonna say my text.
Well, I mean,
messages.
in this business, it's 24/7. And if you're going to be successful, you got to stay on top because things could be developing right now, and I got to glance at that all the time because sometimes most of the time I do, but sometimes I don't get the phone call to look, and you want to catch a problem before it gets big.
That's right. That's right.
So,
I'm gonna kind of diverge just a little bit. When we had Andy Caton on, been a few episodes ago, he was talking about the Raptor system. How great is that?
Yeah, that's really good.
That's unbelievable. Yeah. The connection between the school and law enforcement and stuff.
Yeah, we were just we've been talking about trying to get a tabletop exercise together just to kind of keep our training up together, and that's good for us. It's good for the school, and we all need to be doing that. Yeah. Keep us sharp, So
technology has really changed your job. I mean, like in the last 20 years.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story if we got time for this.
Yeah, absolutely. We got plenty of time.
So sometimes I'm at the academy at SCTC, and I'm explaining to how things have changed, And I said, people didn't always have a cell phone. You know what I mean?
That's exactly right. Well, our kids have always had one, but we haven't.
Yeah. So I said, I remember back in the day, when I first started, people would handwrite reports. And then we got like this DOS-based system, and they don't know what I'm talking about. And I said, well,
green screens.
Yeah. I was like, just to put it in perspective, okay, I didn't have a cell phone. So we had, everybody had those Bearcat scanners, if you remember those.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone had them in their house.
Yep.
And we didn't have the trunking system that we got now. And so you get in the house and you're trying to radio, and then, of course, it calls all those, those, and you're like, can you shut your scanner off, please? And so you couldn't say anything on the radio without everybody hearing it. So if you had sensitive information, I would drive to the payphone, which you don't see those anymore.
There aren't payphones anymore.
Yeah. And so you would say, at that time I was 207, so I would say 207 Sikeston, and they'd say, go ahead. I said 1021-9774. And then they would call 471-9974. The payphone would ring, and then we had a landline where I could say all the secret stuff I needed to say.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm telling that story, and I'm thinking, man,
they probably don't understand it.
Yeah, no. Well, it's funny, and I think we've talked about it on here just different times. Ask your kids, how do you answer a phone? What if I said answer a phone, Jim? You would go like this.
I would go like that. Yeah.
And what do they do? They don't even know what this is.
Yeah.
They don't even. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like, what? What is that?
Yeah, what's even funnier is like, of course, when I was younger, I would ask these older guys, and they were talking about they had one radio that they had to share, and call boxes and all this stuff, and I'm just like, my gosh,
Yeah. Yeah. Now it's total. Look at it
yeah.
now.
yeah,
That's
pretty-
funny. That's funny how that's changed. All right. One word your team would use to describe you.
I'm pretty easygoing, but they would probably say that, but say persistent. So
I like it.
Yeah,
That's a good description. If you are anything, persistent is good.
yeah.
I like it. I like it. Best advice you've ever received.
Oh man, the best advice I received, I would say, this would apply if you're in work at the office or in life, that if you're unhappy or down, the best way out of that is to serve someone else.
Oh, wow.
Because because you think about when you're down, you're upset, regardless of what it's about, you have a focus on yourself.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when
You're in a pity party, basically.
you turn that off and you're like, I'm going to go help someone else. And that there is I'm a big believer in service to others, especially in our profession.
Yeah.
But just from Christianity and
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
that's just how we should be. And it will totally change your mood quickly. It really does.
There's a children's book named "Have You Filled a Bucket Today?"
I have not. I have not heard that.
It's a good little children's book to read.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
That's great. I love that. That's great advice.
Yeah.
Because we all have times when we're.
Well, sometimes I have to take my own advice.
That's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of wallowing in self pity.
I don't say that from the totem pole. I'm just like,
No. We all at times wallow in self pity, right?
It's kind of hard to be sad and smile.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah. And you find out, doing that, things are probably not as bad as you think they are.
was just gonna say.
There's other people that have a lot worse scenarios and issues, and so.
Man, that's great. I love that. I love that. What's a podcast or a book you'd recommend? Obviously, you recommend The Doghouse, but and Chief Cap and Chat. But what's a different one?
Oh man, I've
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, that does put me on the spot. I've listened to a lot of Joe Rogan stuff.
Yep, same.
I've listened to back when Kenny King and William Marshall. I don't know if they're still doing that podcast or not.
Oh, I didn't even know.
They had one.
Okay.
And I forget what it was called, but
I didn't realize they had one.
Yeah, I listened to
Okay.
that, and it's been a while. But that one was pretty good.
Okay.
And I wish I could remember what it was called, but it's been a while since I listened to it.
Okay.
A book. I read a pretty good book. It's about policing, but it was about Bill Bratton. He was a police chief from 70s or whatever, and I think he's Baltimore, maybe New York Transit and New York City, and ultimately Los Angeles too. But that book had a lot of policing, old style policing concepts that I really enjoyed reading. But
5 Dysfunctions of a Team is a good one too.
Oh, I've read that. Yeah.
How good is that?
I like that. And the that Patrick Lencioni, or however you say his name, he's the one that wrote that book.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he has the Death by Meeting.
I've heard of that one. I've not read that.
It's
one.
pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not as good as 5, but it's pretty good.
If you haven't read 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, you should read it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty easy read
Yeah.
too. From a guy that doesn't like to read a lot.
Yeah.
It's a pretty easy read.
Yeah, it has a example in there, like a little fictional story that
I
goes
just gonna
with
say
it.
it's a story,
Yeah.
and it's not a tough or a long read. It's
Yeah.
not like a big thick book. It's pretty
Yeah.
pretty good. If I can read it, it's going to be simple.
Simple.
If you weren't in public safety, what would you be doing?
Well, I went to school for agricultural business, but I found out I didn't really have a lot of passion about that, and it's a good profession. Sometimes I think I should have given that a little more chance. But what I really like is like I said before, human behavior, and I could get into some counseling and stuff like that. I would really enjoy that, because that human behavior aspect has always fascinated me. I mean, but
You ever watch Criminal Minds? Not Criminal Minds, but Manhunter on.
No,
Mindhunter. I'm sorry, it was called Mindhunter.
I know what you're talking about. I haven't watched that
on Netflix with how the behavioral unit started with the FBI and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
No, I haven't seen that.
Is that a series or is it?
It's
like
a series, but it kind of ended like after season 2. But it's really interesting, like where they went in and interviewed like serial killers and stuff like that. It's Mindhunters is what it is, and it's on Netflix.
I've seen it. I just sometimes I just want to get away from.
I would think you probably I can see that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what,
and evidently that's why there's no other series with it, because the person that was writing it kind of got burnt out.
Oh,
what I mean, like not
yeah
anything, but I mean, like I think he just was more than he could continue to write.
Y'all gonna bring the nerd out in me, but this is what I really enjoy. I just can't imagine me doing that around here. I mean, you have to probably move to Arizona or something like that. But astronomy and black holes and the whole
Area 51.
Well, no, not that. But I'm just talking about Einstein's theory of relativity and time, and how time and space are not a fixed thing. All that stuff is it blows my mind how that is. Like time is not a constant. It's just based on gravity and velocity, and it changes and alternates and stuff like that. So much so that the GPS satellites that they have a calculation in that, because it's going fast and further away from the Earth's gravity, that they had to calculate that in there so your GPS is actually correct.
What?
It's wild. It's good stuff.
Well, I know, the other day I was listening.
Well, have you ever seen Interstellar? The movie Interstellar? You need to watch that, because it really emphasizes that.
Okay.
I was listening to Buck Sexton and
Clay Travis.
Clay Travis the other day, and evidently there was a bill proposed to change daylight savings time like by 30 minutes instead of an hour, and do it one time and then keep it at that.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how like time, like they asked it like, what time is it in Kuwait? And it was like almost 11 o'clock here, and it was or almost even on the hour, but it was like 30 minutes behind. Like it would be like 6:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? Like not, and it was.
It didn't actually line up.
It did not. Like the minutes didn't line up.
What?
Yeah.
Well, even here in America, some of those time zones, they try to cut around big cities and all that stuff. I'm like,
weird.
What are we doing? I mean, it makes sense, but I'm like, can we not just get on the same page with what time it is?
Yeah. It's 4 here and it's 2 in the morning, or if it's noon, it's 10 a.m. in LA.
Like right now, I'm having a hard time getting up at like my 7 o'clock because it's still dark outside.
It is dark.
Yeah,
I'm not a morning person either.
I notice it's still affecting me, because it's it takes a few days to get used to that.
Yeah.
It used to be what I hate about midnights. But
Did you have any good like stations you listened to, like radio shows or anything like that when you worked midnights?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do you listen to that one dude that's
Art Bell? Coast
yes,
to Coast?
That's Coast to Coast. That's the exact one. As soon as you said that, I knew you listened to it.
You and Bruin were talking about that on the other episode.
George Norrie and all that stuff.
I was like, I knew he listened.
Yeah.
As soon as you said it, I was like, I would listen to Art Bell.
This sounds bad, but I would get so frustrated because they'd be sitting there talking about the Chupacabra or something like that, and I'm into it, or ghost stories or Area 51 and all that. And then I'd get a call for service, and I'd like, I'm in the middle of this, like,
can't listen to it.
And you didn't have DVR then.
No.
Yeah, no. Like, we got to hurry this up. I got to get back to Art Bell.
I got to hear how this ends.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's good stuff.
It was a good time, man. I love that.
That's great. All right, one last question. 3 people we should have on the show.
3 people.
Or 5 or 1 or 2 or whatever.
Have you talked to the mayor?
I haven't actually. Yeah. So would you? I know Turnbow. We're gonna have a new one coming up in like a month, right? In their election in April or
well,
no?
they're having. Let's see. I think who is it? Vest, I think, is going out if I remember right.
But isn't Drake running for mayor? Did I dream that?
I don't think. Yeah, he could be. That's right. I don't really keep up with all that.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. No, but I absolutely.
Have you talked to? I mean, Drake would be good too.
Yep.
Trying to think of somebody else that would be good.
Spread Hope was a good one.
Spread Hope would be good. I mean, they're always doing good things in the community, and for sure, the mayor would be good. I really think he'd be good. He'd probably get mad at me for saying that, but he's a good.
Get
talker.
him to limp in here.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think the world of Turnboat. Don't anybody tell him I said that. By the way, I don't want him to know that. No, I do. I really like him, and I think he's done a great job. And
he really has. He's done really good.
I'd like to get Birch on here sometime. I think Birch. I think he was transformative in some of the things that we've done.
He really was. Yeah. I'd say he's unfortunately has passed on. That I really liked was Settles, Gerald Settles.
Man, what a good guy.
Yeah.
I knew Mr. Gerald.
Yeah. He's the kind of guy that he'd ask the questions, because he wanted to get to and he had this way of just taking something complicated and simplifying it to, he did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him. Mm-hmm. Sometimes a little nervous when I had something I got to give to counsel,
Afraid of what question he might ask?
Yeah, because he was a sharp guy,
Very sharp.
And he wasn't going to let it slide if he had a question about it. He was going to ask you, which he should do.
Of course. That's what he was elected to do. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Chief, man, we have absolutely loved this time. We're hour and 45 minutes, if you can believe it.
It's hard to believe.
I know.
I appreciate y'all inviting me on here.
Listen,
this is great.
We absolutely appreciate you coming. Thank you for
I've
your time.
been looking for it to a while.
Absolutely. Well, it's been, listen, you've got a lot more important things to do than trying to schedule time with us, but we appreciate you taking that time.
But I like talking about this stuff. It's not often I sit down and people say, "So what's your vision for?" And it's important to talk about. And
of course,
anybody that's I have this rule, and I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but if you're going to ask me to help or talk or come give it, I'm going to say yes. You know what I mean? Even sometimes, when I grew up very introverted, that is not my normal personality.
Yeah.
But I work for the city.
Yeah.
I work for these citizens.
Yeah.
And those appearances are important. Because it's not about me. It's about the department. It's about the city.
It's bigger than you, right?
That's right. Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Well, you're the face.
Yeah.
We've had conversations on the school board, and this is not really anything out of school, but I remember when we hired Shannon and now we hired Andy, we were like, you're kind of going to be doing more. School is what you're doing, but you're doing some. You're the face of the school now.
It's a political.
It's a political kind of thing, and not in a bad way. Not politics like government politics, but you're going to have to go talk to people. You're going to have to give presentations.
Yeah.
People are going to ask you stuff. You're going to have to be ready for that kind of stuff, and it's more than just running the school.
Right. Yeah. And it's the good thing about having a good team is that they allow the time for me to go do that stuff. And
yes,
so
because that's part of it. When you took that role, I'm sure someone told you, okay, you're gonna have to run the place, but you're also gonna have to do this. You're gonna speak at the Kiwanis, and you're gonna speak at whatever, and they expect you to be there.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of hard to be the leader of whether it's the school or us or whoever. And you just never see that person.
That's correct. That's correct.
How do you do that?
That's correct. And
we talk about that with coaches. Like getting to the kids need to know who they are.
That's right.
Yeah. At a younger age.
Yeah, they need to see them. That's right. We talk about that a lot. Is there? Well, actually, I just a comment that occurred to me when we were talking about that. I think you and your team, and I would say probably kind of started under Drew, kind of when this all started. But man, the stuff that you guys that do at the rodeo and just tamp down stuff, and how it's just it's family friendly still, and it doesn't get out of hand and all those things.
Yeah,
I think that's a whole JC the town.
Well, and that's it's a
DPS.
partnership with
It
JCs
is.
because
It
we
is.
sit down, we talk about together. They talk about concerns, we talk about our concerns. Ryan Smith ran that under Drew. He continues to run it, and occasionally I'm always trying to say we need to start pushing responsibility down, but he really enjoys doing that, and I just don't have the heart to take it from him. and he does it so well,
Yeah.
I don't want to take it from him.
Right, exactly.
He knows what he's doing. And the Highway Patrol coming in.
I was just going to say,
they,
county,
Oh,
both
yeah,
New
counties,
Madrid and
yeah.
Scott, and the Highway Patrol. It's
Yeah.
such a great partnership that it to me it just makes everybody feel safe.
Yeah.
and they are safe there.
yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean, I remember really this decades ago. It was a little different. You know what I mean?
well, I mean, it got later in the night, and
Yeah.
alcohol was there, and anytime that's involved, it can get.
Yeah, and to JC's credit, they said, "Hey, we want to fix this problem."
Yes.
And then and together, because we can't do that ourselves. I mean, together they did. They've been such a huge community partner for not just us, but for the whole community.
Yes.
I don't know if people really. I know you do. I mean, but man, they've done tremendous stuff. Philanthropy just for.
Kenny Rogers is one. I mean,
Yeah.
We wouldn't have Kenny Rogers without the
Right.
JCs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many things that they give to,
Yeah.
and that they donate to, and that they support.
Mm-hmm.
We are blessed as a community to have them. There's
Yeah, and
no
they've been
question.
around so long. I'm sure most people take that for granted.
That's a thing that I've talked to some of their leadership over the past couple of years, and whatever they've done, and maybe it was COVID that I think people that kind of changed people's perspective as far as we took a lot of things for granted, and then COVID happened, and we're like, what? We can't do that anymore. They had enough foresight. They're like, we're going to have a rodeo.
Yeah.
However we have to do it, but we're going to have a rodeo. And maybe it was even before that, but I felt like it went through just being here my whole life. And you're a New Madrid, so you've been here a long time. It kind of went through, it's a rodeo. Yeah, it's kind of a cool thing. But
We always went to it
yeah,
as kids.
Yeah, we did
Matter
too.
of fact, when Bill Farrell had the sheriff's posse, my dad was on that.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, and so it was a hoot. And then we'd try to get horses to do. We'd ride in the grand entry and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it was a good time.
Right. But the town it kind of waned a little bit. But man, whatever they've done now, it is a big, big deal.
Yeah.
For the rodeo, the 4 nights in August, and the marketing that they do to it, and everything is just top notch.
It can get hot, but that's really the best time to do it, I think. People are out of school. It's the end of summer, right before everybody gets back into school. And, it works out.
It does.
Well, I appreciate the state of Missouri making schools not start until later in the year because for things like that. And that's why they're doing it.
Yeah,
that's exactly why they're doing it.
Yeah. They allow that to have that kind of that last hurrah, so to speak, before school starts. Because once that starts, it's still hot, and it can be hot in September, but that's kind of the end of summer. That's the unofficial end, so to speak.
Well, we've had some weeks where it was just nice.
Mid 80s? Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
It can happen. Fingers crossed.
Right. It does. That's right.
Yeah.
Those are nice to have.
Yeah.
Well, Chief, man, we appreciate your time. Thank you for taking time
Sure.
from your family and away from some things that you needed to be doing. Thanks for...
They're probably fine with it.
Yeah, that's what I always say. We come down here. Erin is happy I'm not upstairs bothering her.
Yeah.
She is happy.
I think my wife went to Y Pump.
Erin, she went somewhere. So she has plenty to do, not have to worry about me under her feet, so to speak.
Yeah.
But again, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. We end all of our podcasts with Go Dogs, because that's how we end. I mean, that's just who we are.
like it.
We're supporting the dogs. It is the doghouse. You are.
Micah Harris.
I'm Matt Tanner.
Go
Go
Dogs.
Dogs.
Dogs. Yeah.